us up. We're good. I think we only have 2 viewers right now, but more will be joining us.
We're back for round 4 of this invitational thing. We got some zombies on Slanesh action.
Contrary to the title of the stream, which is round 3, I don't know how to edit that yet, but we'll have somebody around at some point that can edit
We'll
that.
find somebody smarter than we are, I promise.
Yeah. I mean, last time I was playing in GTs, I was running zombies, so me no smart. Our mission is Power Flux.
Power Flux.
Pretty decent for zombies, I think. You know, just 4 objectives on the table.
Well, there's 2 active ones too. That's going to be a real problem for Slanesh, I think. Depending on how the structure of the objectives goes, whoever's taking I think bottom of turn gets to choose which objectives are live. So if they stay in the deployment zones, it's going to be a weird grindy game with battle tactic structure mattering a lot. But if it starts flipping through the middle rounds, it can get interesting, I think, depending on like opening and like how Slanesh is generating things. But we'll see how they play it. Both of these. So what's the win path so far for both of them? So
Tom Guan has taken care of 2 of the 3 OBR players, and then in round 3 of an invitational, top players only beat Cruel Boys by about 2 or 3 points. They didn't finalize the final score. It was basically the 2 or 3 points. They talked it out, agreed.
yeah.
But the closest game that 140 zombies have had was not the 2 OBR armies, but Cruel Boys.
Cruel Boys. Interesting.
Anthony Lawrence, on the other hand,
It's the Walters, the king of the Walters clan, and he's beaten both of them, right?
he beat both the Walters, and I'm trying to recall his round 1 opponent.
I don't know either.
We'll have that shortly.
But Slanesh list is tricky. I like it. It's more of a mix than a skew list like a lot of the other Blitz Bar lists are. He's only got the 3 minimum size squads, and then a lot of complementary tech, which is an interesting way to play.
It was Nick True, who I think was our 3rd OBR player.
All of the OBR are slain by the 2 people left.
So apparently, if you can defeat OBR, you can make it to the final.
That's it. I mean,
So that's the key piece here. 3 OBR players. All 3 were defeated by these 2 players.
Yeah, OBR seems to be one of the like litmus tests of the meta too, so it's not surprising that they did well.
Yeah, they just don't have the title, but whatever. It says round 3. We're in round 4. The final round today.
Promise. Yeah.
So Tom Guan running 140 zombies, 10 dire wolves, the Lockavai secret tech in order to fight the OBR menace.
Yeah.
Gorslav is his general with the 5 upward artifact bubble. He does not have Torgilius, so he's only got 1 5 upward bubble, and it's only a wholly within 9.
Yeah. Yes, board coverage seems to be a problem on this map. It's gonna be okay, I think, but he's really just fighting for control of 2 objectives all the time. So I imagine there'll be a big clump of zombies that slowly tries to encroach. Is going to be his game plan. And Slanesh is going to. He's just going to have to like try to stack up depravity. I think it should be the plan for Slanesh, and then just match him for points, and hopefully the objectives will flip around in a favorable position for him.
First time seeing Slanesh on the stream today. Pretenders, so his general will be able to issue the same command to 3 times per turn, much like a Maul Crusher.
Yeah.
But possibly hitting a little harder than a Maul Crusher, because he's got the Strength of Godhood and a Crown of Dark Secrets. Crown of Dark Secrets won't really have any impact in this. Like, he'll pick Lockavai, and if Lockavai is within 6, all the attacks of Lockavai are set to 1. Little deterrent for Lockavai, but the Crown of Dark, or the Strength of Godhood, when the epitome issues a command, it improves the rend and damage of its weapons by 1 until the end of the turn, once per turn. So even though it can issue multiple commands, just the first time it issues, boom, improves its melee weapons. Also got the Shard Speaker Slanesh. He loves this putting Born of Damnation on there, so it's extra depravity.
Yeah, it's a good spell.
He also has a Bray Shaman coalitioned in, because he can coalition and Beast of Chaos
Yeah,
units.
the Hoarfrost, right?
With Hoarfrost. Cheap source of 100 points for the wizard. He's got Hoarfrost. And it's 3 Antorian Locusts he's got in his list.
Yeah.
And then rounding out his heroes, he's got the Mask, which I think is one of the best units in the book.
It's good.
140 points. At the end of deployment, he can pick it up, put it in his opponent's territory, 3 inches of enemy models. So Anthony's able to go down to kind of a lower drop count than usual. In this case, he's only 4 drops. But I've seen him go down to like 10 or 11 drops with Slanesh. And just say, I'm going to put this in your face, and you're either going to have to take the top of turn and deal with it, or give it to me, and then I'm going to potentially pick up something vital. Like you could put it near the Vampire Lord on foot and try to pick
It's a
that
good
up.
list. It like gives you questions to answer, like no matter what you pick, right? Like, okay, if I'm going to give away turn priority, I want to plan no matter what I'm given, top or bottom. It's a good way to structure list design for sure.
This battle line is 3 units of Blitzbarb archers, none reinforced, but that's 30 archers, 2 shots each, essentially on 3s and 2s because of being able to issue all-out attack to all 3 of them, the epitome, and then they're also +1 to wound from the little homunculus in their unit. It doesn't have a bow, but he buffs their shooting. He's also got a unit of 5 Blitzbarb Seekers, so those are the melee ones. Super fast, 14-inch move, run and charge.
They're really good setup for the archers too, because they
Oh no, Blitzbarb Seekers is the archer, the bow.
on
Not
the mounted
Slug
ones,
blade, yeah,
right? And
the
they
mounted ones.
stop positive reinforcement to your save if you miss your save rolls against the unit, which is it's really strong in a Slanesh army because it's a lot of chip based on volume, and like the more you can interact with the save profile, the more that volume damage starts to stack up too. So I like that in almost every Slanesh list that you can put them in. So
But I don't think Anthony thinks that's enough, because he's also coalition in a Chaos Gargant, which reduces the save of everything it's in combat by 1.
it's good.
So between the Blitzbarb Seekers, the Chaos Gargant, the Shard Speaker Slanesh for a 4-up to reduce their save, that's potentially -3 your save right there. And if you're within 3 inches of the epitome, you can't issue or receive commands, so no all-out defense. The Gargant can also roar to prevent all-out defense. And then he's also got 2 units of 6 Furies. He loves the speed, he loves using them for screens.
Yeah, it's good to set the board against armies that are designed like Tom has too, where you can kind of send him out as a vanguard and prevent him from dropping zombies where he wants to. Also, it's very helpful, especially for something that's kind of all of the Slanesh list is mostly fragile units. So if you can layer your units with other fragile units and keep the units you want alive with screens, which I think a lot of people have gotten used to not seeing because you see lots of Death Star units or just a ton of chaff. So
But wait, there's more.
yeah.
5 Cimmerish Twin Souls. So if you're in combat with them, they have a 5-up ward save, and they also reduce the attacks characteristic of your melee weapons by 1.
Yeah. So he's got 2 forms of the -1 attack, or attack reduction in general, I guess. It's the better.
And it's zombies only have 2 attacks each, which is Tom's entire army pretty much. So it automatically just cuts their attacks in half. And then to round it out, a reinforced unit of 6 Slangor Fiendbloods. World first, you saw it here.
It's the Hoarfrost target. You make them 2s to hit, you solve your problem as far as volume damage. So, and they fight twice. Really good buy for 260 points, I think. So.
And I believe he'll have the Triumph for Inspired for the potential once per game. +1 the wound. And we talked to Anthony, we heard him on stream last round when we had Cruel Boys versus Soul Blight. And Anthony said out of those 2, he would much rather face the Soul Blight.
Interesting.
I've seen Anthony play in Soul Blade before. Blitzbarb Archers, amazing at just picking up skeletons and zombies. The other main thing is being able with euphoric killers to just ramp up depravity in combat. That epitome gets buffed up with its Strength of Godhood and Flaming Weapon. You can go into zombies and get like 30-something depravity, and you can just summon a Keeper Secrets next turn.
And it's really good at killing zombies too, because it's not taking the mortal wounds on the swing back on the splash, because it has 2+ ward specifically against mortals. So it's a good tech. They can't retreat from it either, so you kind of just engage and keep chopping in both player turns, depending on where the placement is, depending on if that model stays alive. He'll have to be careful around some of the other pieces in the army.
He does. Tom does have the Vampire Lord with Ward Frost.
Yeah.
So you could put the zombies on like a 2 to hit, because the Epitome only has a 5-up save and 7 wounds.
Right.
So even if you're just putting a quantity of just Ren 0 attacks into it,
It's just anything. It's only 7 wounds, right? And is that? I think you'll probably mark Lock of Eye, I think, for the attacks, depending on what their deployment structure looks like.
The only thing in there that is gonna pop out.
Still 3 profiles, so it's a decent amount of damage if it goes through against that matchup.
I mean, Anthony's got a list of a lot of MSU here, and Lock of Eye can pretty much just cover away with any of these units.
Yeah.
So he's going to be looking to counter that Lock of Eye with the Epitome just to shut it down, or just shoot it off the table real quick. He's also going to be prioritizing those corpse cards to eliminate the mortal wounds from coming out from the zombies. We saw it last round where once those corpse cards were shut down, the zombie output was just very minimal and non-existent.
Something else in the Slanesh matchup, once he gets to the -1 to hit aura, that shuts down a lot of zombie damage too, because you essentially cut it in half because they hit on 5s, and you're just trying to get your hits to your wounds so you can cause the mortal wounds with the corpse cards. But if you're making them hit on 6s, they're just not getting a lot of attacks there, and it's a buff for the whole army, I believe, once he gets to 18 depravity or something like that. So
it's only for the Hedonites, so like the Furies.
That's true, yeah.
The Chaos Gargant, the Great Bray Shaman in combat won't get it.
Sad. Poor Great Bray Shaman, born to die.
So we're going to see. I don't think Tom has lost a game with Zombie. I think he's gotten like 4 or 5 O's with it.
He played Legion of Night at the GW Open in Tacoma and lost a couple games, but it was like a mix list. And then he's like, well, I just stopped playing all these things that are zombies because zombies are too cheap. And now he just has more zombies, and more zombies is better at standing on the circular objects that you see on your screen. So he's had some good success with it. Lock of Eye is interesting, though. I haven't seen that army play with Lock of Eye a lot, so I want to see what he does with it in this matchup, because there's a lot of pitfalls he can run into where it's kind of hard to derive value from that model in this matchup, because he ignores her armor, shuts down her output. So what does she do? So I want to see what winds up happening in that matchup with the Lock of Eye model specifically.
This is the first game today that Tom's played where his opponents had a faction train piece. And Lock of Eye is a monster.
Yeah, stomp on it.
Eventually stomp that.
Roar can be, Roar is always important. So that could be something that winds up being impactful.
And then once the -1 hits start coming out, just being able to stomp and just get some more wins. Anthony's got a very light list.
Rend reduction too. If I was gonna predict, I think he'll probably put Lock of Eye behind his screens and just use it for rend reduction in combat, because it's just, I don't think he can really be that aggressive with the model. There's just too many ways to shut down her output, and then too many ways to just take away her armor and kill her if she gets too overextended. So, but we'll see what Tom does with her.
Any prediction who's going to take the W in this?
Oh, the mission really favors Soulblight, but Anthony's a really good player, and he's got a lot of really good tools for the Soulblight matchup. So the mid-turn priority rolls are going to matter so much, because they reset your objective structure. So I could see both outcomes happening, to be honest. I think I'm going to pick Slanesh. We'll see how it goes. But I like all the tools into Soulblight, and the mission isn't as bad as it could be. I think the Slanesh can control one objective at a time and kind of pick peel off pieces of that army till he can create a win con in the late game. But we'll see what happens. What do you think?
I favor the Slanesh and just the army versus army. The mission might make it a little bit closer. I know Anthony feels good going into Soulblight. I've seen Anthony play Slanesh in the Soulblight before, and it's been very comfortable wins for him before. But Tom's not your average Soulblight player. Loiters a little bit more than usual.
Neither of them are. I mean, they're both really good at the game. Like, obviously, the people they beat today, the performances they put together in the past, both of them for many years in different games. Like, they both know how to play tabletop war games. So hopefully we'll get some really interesting play through. The mid game is what I'm most interested in. Like, I think that Slanesh is better at rerouting if the objectives flip. They're a little faster. They're a little better at projecting damage, which is what you're going to wind up having to do to move models out of the way. But if zombies just sit and plant on one side of the board, it's going to be really hard to move them off of either one of those. And I think zombies are a little better at tactics, but they're both really good at tactics. So.
I don't know if we can do it mid-stream. We can try.
Oh, the edit button.
What round?
4.
Our tech support is here to update our stream title.
There's a
Round
4 next to the name instead of a 3 now. Perfect.
There's apparently a giant button in the middle of the page that says edit that I completely wasn't looking at.
Yeah, because he told me not to shut it down, so I just was like...
Yeah. It's just typical Soulblight player, can't read.
Yeah, I mean, I played Flies too long last year, my brain rotted. Played Zombies earlier this year. Brain even fell further apart.
Look at this. Like, just throwing his models around, Tom. You're better than this.
He's taking care of Lockabye.
He's already snapped a bunch of things off the base.
You better take care of Lockabye.
Yeah, that's the one that matters, yeah.
Legendary player painted that one up for him.
Oh, is that you? Yeah. Starting to put units down. I assume both players are just going to pile up on their home objective because they probably both are guessing that Tom is going to give away the turn and make Slanesh go first. Is what I think both players think is going to happen. I don't think the zombies can get away with taking top. He's 4, right? 2 battle regiment and Locust.
They're both 4 drops.
Both 4. Do we know who won the roll? It's important.
I'm assuming Tom because he's putting down his stuff first.
I will go ask. You stay here.
Okay, I will stay here. With my favorite stream audience. How's everybody doing tonight? Let us know if even if you can hear us. Any questions?
Yeah. Tom won the roll.
Tom won the roll-off, so Tom will be able to dictate who goes top of 1. And I'm assuming in this, he's probably going to want to have Slanesh go top of 1.
Yeah, I think he wants to set the objectives and probably set them as the 2 home, and they'll probably both wind up with 3-point turns. I think is what's going to happen. And then after that, it gets weird based on priority rolls and then what Anthony decides to do. If he's very passive, he might get another round of 3-point turns, but if he plays with the intention of trying to get top of the turn and do a lot of damage, he might put Tom in a position where he needs to make a really difficult decision. So it's interesting. It's interesting back and forth with the objective structure. I think they both have Locust to get the extra points. Both fairly slow. Does the epitome counts as one or no?
Yeah, so he's got the epitome, the Bray Shaman, and the Shard Speaker for Slanesh. And then Tom only has the Necromancer and Vampire Lord.
I see. So if those die early, that's points that he could make up for on the back end too. I don't think that the I don't think the Soul Blight's gonna be able to clear out all the locusts on the Slaanesh side. It's just gonna be too much in the way.
No, and he's got nothing to really project the damage
Yeah.
out. Lock of Eye's probably the best bet, just because he's got Spirit Gale on Lock of Eye.
Yeah.
But
That's true. That's weird pressure on your backline heroes too.
yeah. So it's more incentive for him to protect Lock of Eye, keep her alive, to just start melting away at like the Shard Speaker, the Bray Shaman,
Still
especially.
just not going to have a good way to kill the Epitome unless the Epitome winds up in the middle of the Soul Blight army. Like, that's really the only way I see it dying, to be honest. Because he's going to mark Log of Eye, and as long as that happens and the Epitome is not just entrenched in the middle of the army, it's just he's not going to have any tools to deal with it. So it just depends a lot. I think there's a lot more reactive decision making in the Soul Blight player side. Like, Anthony's going to dictate the pace of the game, especially through the opening, and that's going to determine how the game develops for the middle rounds. Just how much pace he decides to put on the game. So,
And also, he's got the shooting to be able to deal with some zombies and not have to worry about splashbacks on things.
there's options for both. Like, that's why it'd be interesting to see what Anthony does. Like, he's going to control the pace of the game, and he has choices for both. It's like just going really hard, really fast, and then he could also just play passively. So it'll be fun. We've got this very slow process of digging their models out and throwing them in their deployment zone. Soul Blight looks like he's got most of his stuff there already.
Tom seems to be really in the mood set of like setting his stuff up in ranks and files, like it's Warhammer Fantasy Battles.
I wish he had movement trays. I think that's what he's just. It's silently protesting that he wants just the square movement trays back so he can play his army faster.
11 dire? You might have to.
Uh-oh.
It's game 4. Players are a little.
It is 11. So it turns out when you try to put down 11 dire wolves rather than 10, it helps out a lot of the problems that they have, such as wound density and attacks. You just have more models than you're supposed to. Unit works a little better. Did he remove it? Excellent. One thing that's really interesting that I see is the placement of the terrain piece for Slaanesh. He's like creating a pinch point between those two pieces of impassable. So I assume that when Anthony leans his army out, he's going to try to use that either as he's going to use it as a passageway to fight, or he'll probably lean away from it, I think, and use that as flank protection. So I think he's going to wind up swinging the opposite direction when he's given the turn.
Do you think he'll put the Mermanish Painbreakers right in the middle, or the Sighthoarders in the middle?
I don't think he's going to. It's hard. Like, your distance control really, really matters with zombies. So, like, you have to be just right. You can't be too passive, can't be too forward. It's like the bear thing, right? Like,
yeah, there's such a gap though between the two terrain pieces. He's got to plug that up with something.
yeah. If I was Anthony, I would even maybe consider putting filling it with the Painbringers and then putting the Epitome right behind it. So whatever he engages them with is just going to stay locked in combat. Because a big part of Soul Blight's game is they just retreat on their turn, so they're not losing the bodies. But if you're forced to stay in prolonged combat, you're just going to lose your wound density faster than you want to, right?
Tom's very aggressive with how he plays the zombies. He's got Gorslav and things. He can just keep pushing and throwing bodies at you.
Gets it back for free. Yeah.
And it's worked out for him.
Yeah, there's too much on the board for Soul Blight, I think. Like, he should have considered at least one or two more units in the grave, I think. Like, I don't think you don't just start everything,
so much
right?
speed with the Furies,
Yeah.
with everything else, that he's able to just
Fair enough. Yeah.
move up, take a ton of board control.
But with this deployment, like, Anthony knows he's going first. Like, I think that, like, Tom has shown that he's going to give away turn. That's why he's put everything out on his side. And I think Anthony has read that.
You can see that there it is. The river dash paint right here. So
Yeah.
he's going to be right behind, right up the middle.
Yeah, exactly.
Little pipe, the Slangor Fiend Bloods somewhere behind them, so that way you can position them to whatever side, wherever they need to go.
Summoning would be really important too. Like, wherever he decides to engage with his Fiend Bloods is going to generate a lot of summoning points. And I believe his grand strategy is have 36 at the end of the game, right? So he's going to get past a certain break point before he can start summoning, because he's going to need those 3 points at the end of the game, I think. And like the buffs that he gets from it's really important in this matchup too. Like 5+ ward, -1 to hit, like all those things are very impactful in this kind of a matchup. So you see maybe something coming out on turn 4, turn 3, turn 4.
Just, I think the one pull got.
What happened? Emma's just finding all kinds of errors with these players. Playing 4 games of Age of Sigmar can be taxing. Yeah. What happened?
Yeah, there we go.
What were you trying to adjust?
The pull got adjusted over, so the sheet was too
I see.
far over, and then
Now we get to see all of the words that they scribble on their score data sheet. If they don't write well, I'm going to take it from them.
I've already had to go have Tom redo not a word,
Yeah.
but a number.
Yeah.
And he said, "Oh, sorry, I wrote it in Chinese."
Yeah, it's tough. Yeah, it's tough. Hard life. Playing zombies tuckers our little fella out. So
Good thing he doesn't sleep; he just recharges.
it's a very wide deployment from Slanesh.
Yeah, but he's got the speed. He knows that Soul Blade can
Yeah,
keep up.
what I think he's gonna probably play passive turn 1. He's gonna swing out really wide and then try to give the turn away so he can activate the center ones. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, I think he just wants to keep the score as tight as possible. He doesn't need to necessarily get ahead in points,
Yeah.
but just keep it as tight as possible while he whittles away and builds up his depravity.
Yeah. Well, as a Slanesh player, I think you want to take over one side of the board. I think that's what you're probably shooting for. You're trying to shove the zombie. You're trying to cut one side of the board off and shove the zombies into the corner, so you can make up 2 or 3 points on the back end. And because what your goal is, I think, is you're trying to force you're both getting 3-point turns in the first turn. And then as a Slanesh player, I think your goal is to try to put the zombie player on 3-point turns 4 and 5, and then sneak in more points on one of those turns, if not both. And I think that's your win condition. But
There's the handshake.
sportsmanship, gross.
Guy. Well, when you're not in Texas,
I know.
that's what we do.
Play for keeps.
And here's the mask redeploying. So the mask gets set up anywhere in Tom's territory, at least 3 inches from Tom's models.
Just creating one more thing that Tom has to think about. It's like, okay, you have to come deal with this.
It
Like,
generates a pretty good amount of depravity too, because
Yeah.
it starts off at like 6 red 1 2 damage attacks,
Yeah.
and at the start of the turn you can ramp it up to 9 attacks.
yeah. It's got 4+ ward too, right? So
Yeah.
mortal wound protection is
Yep.
always good.
So you have to put something into it to deal with it. Lock of Eyes right up in the middle of the table.
Yeah.
So it's the question, and then do you have to Lock of Eye over to deal with it, or you just ignore it? If you ignore it, it can potentially tie up your zombies, start just
We
beating
get
the
to
crap
see
out of
the beautiful view of the top of Tom's head, where the score sheet is. So.
Amazing. He's just loitering everywhere.
I know. It's awful.
Yeah, we don't have it up on our. Here we go. Nope, that's the wrong one. Let me go to. That was the right one.
There you go. You got the top of Tom's head. And he did nothing. He wrote nothing.
And he wrote all that loitering in front of our score card. He doesn't do anything. I think Anthony's looking at euphoric killers on those zombies. Or his tactic turn on.
Always good. This one, it's hard to get intimidate because you're just the deployment zones go up so hard so far. That's a later game battle tactic. And then surround could be an option for him if he doesn't want to be if he wants something that's uninteractive, he can do surround because he has his units swung out wide. But euphoric killers is easy if he wants to commit resource, I think.
If he would have left the shard speaker back enough out of unbind range, he could have gone for
Magic Dom,
dominance.
yeah.
But it looks like he's probably in unbind range.
Yeah. It's interesting. I think, because I think that is Soul Blight's win con. As the Slanesh struggles in this matchup, I think to find like a round 5 tactic. And so if he can choke the game and slow it way down and prevent a tactic ideally you want to prevent 2 tactics as a Soul Blight player, and then that is his win con. Whereas Slanesh, it's like opposite problem. You're controlling board state. You're fighting for board state. You're not fighting to prevent battle tactics because preventing battle tactics against Soul Blight is just not a good strategy, I think. They have so many that are very, very easy to achieve. So...
if he sends the mask in, it's already a free grasping battle tactic.
Yeah. So I think that's the game. Like at a macro level, I think it's the tactic game versus the board control game, and we'll see who does their win condition better.
Tom has a script. He's got it like memorized of which tactics he's been doing in which order. And that was part of the reason why he added Lock of Eye to have an additional.
Yeah, it's the healing,
tactic.
right, from the vampire heroes.
Yeah, because she's a war master, so she counts as a general. So if she's taking any wounds, he can just heal Lock of Eye from the hunger.
Pretty good. Lock of Eye is good at killing models.
Hopefully our audio is working. I don't know if anybody can confirm in chat if they can hear us or if we've been talking to ourselves.
Yeah. I mean, I like talking to myself, so. Let's see this moving.
We might even have the wrong chat open from last stream.
I could be. Really. Unsure. What does DBTC mean?
I am about to go check these Knights of Slanesh Battle Tome. Death by 1,000 cuts. So pick one enemy unit. Complete if wounds caused by attacks made by 3 more different friendly units were allocated to that unit this turn.
I see. So he's going to shoot it with 3 of his archer units.
Yeah, or even in melee a bit.
Yeah.
But I believe he pointed at that 40 block of zombies at the bottom left.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all right. I think we'll see. We'll see if we have audio. I'm talking into the void. Cursed existence.
running up. Furies are able to, instead of fighting combat, they do get to retreat instead.
That's what Tom just asked him about the charging and retreating. So I think they're both keen to what is happening. Let's see. It's interesting. It could. Can we tell which objectives are active? I assume it's the home ones.
I would assume so too.
Maybe not. Maybe not. It's the two big piles of armies.
The sides.
Sides.
Yeah,
That's another interesting choice, yeah. Like,
Tom's electing to activate the side ones and potentially force Soulblight to break their little castle there.
yeah, I get that. I guess he's assuming he's going to be able to get a 5-point turn too, so they're trading 5-point turns. I don't know. We'll see how likely it is.
Also means he needs to move a Vampire Lord or Necromancer out and to tag one of those.
The issue is I think that he could possibly prevent zombies from even getting on one of those objectives with the Furies. If he just charges and then retreats out 3 inches away and then just prevents any bodies from getting there and then tags on the back end, you could maybe force the Soul Blight onto a 3-point turn.
Yeah, and also if Tom is able to just tag one of his Enturian Locust on each of those side ones, he won't be able to get he'll get the extra point on his Anthony's turn,
it's also
then
true.
Prevent Tom from getting an extra point.
Yeah, I don't like that as a. I would have just picked the home ones. It's just stable, 3-point turn for both players. But this, or four points. Yeah, you're right. Yep, 4-point turns versus the 6-point turn. You're just giving a 6-point turn to Slaanesh, no matter what, and then you're making it very hard on yourself to match the 6-point turn, I think. And what are you making the Slaanesh player do, really? Like, maybe commit some Furies, like that's... So you're basically trading 2 points on your board. You're trading 2 points on your score sheet for a unit of Furies, if it goes poorly for the Soul Blight player. So we'll see how it plays out, but definitely not what I would have thought would have happened.
Yeah, it's a bold move.
That is a word.
Moving up the Blitzbark Seekers. Likely have range to more zombies with that shoot in.
Yeah, he's just going to get the tactic with the Death by 1,000 Cuts, right?
Yeah. And Tom did redeploy his Corpse Cart in the bottom left away from that mask. But that mask could just jump into those zombies and just tie up that unit a little bit.
Yeah.
And it'll be able to prevent Anthony from just kind of retreating out onto the objective, running or charging onto it by just tagging and bogging them up. I think Anthony's going to be in great shape after turn one.
For sure. And I think he's in great shape no matter if he wins or loses priority. There's a lot that has to happen between now and the priority roll, but from glancing at this opening, I think that Slaanesh is probably already favored. Hard to tell this early, but
He even has the Gargant right up in the middle, right behind his Myrminesh.
yeah.
So if the zombie, anything goes right up the middle, it's going to be -1 attacks, -1 to its save.
Yeah, just
Can't receive commands. Like,
it's the only pitfall I can see happening is you just don't want to be so aggressive that you start killing units and you move away from your own home objective. But I don't think that Anthony would make that kind of mistake.
oh, there he is, fixing his mistake, just pulling back,
Yeah,
making sure he's screening off the back.
yeah. It's the other part of this whole Blight matchup is just being aware of his unit recursion, stripping points on the back end of your scoring away. So it's just a weird call though to activate side objectives. I'm trying to think about it from like Soul Blight point of view. I mean, I guess he wanted pressure he wanted to force pressure to the middle of the board, but I don't know. I think that you just keep both players on 4-point turns. I think that's what.
Yeah, just play for the long game.
Yeah, it's just stable. But we'll see.
I mean, maybe we'll pull Tom over and find out what his thoughts are.
No, just
In
shrug.
the middle of the game.
Yeah.
Just zombies. It is game 4 of the day, so these guys have.
Yeah, I'm not even like not just considering it like a mistake. I just like to hear the thought, like the theory behind it, like because that's what I'm trying to figure out.
How
The
dare we
theory.
assume Tom would make a mistake?
Yeah, he's never in his life. We got
Never.
an invader to the stream.
I brought it from this.
How are you? You're James's daughter, right? Yeah, you look just like him.
So this is the view that they're getting from the camera. This is like it's one big circle.
Yeah, they run the show. These people back here. It's our boss. They tell us what to do. Yeah.
Off to Slanesh shooting phase. We're going to start seeing zombies picked up left and right, up and down.
A lot of zombie carnage. They still.
Just the start of the zombie carnage. I think the next turn is when we're really just going to see zombies picked up.
He's got to kill most of them twice, so we'll see.
I think there's still some zombies off the table. Still a unit of 10 dire wolves that get summoned from the Virkos.
Yeah. But this, I mean, he's bracketed really far in. I don't know where he's going to summon those dire wolves where they can be impactful on the turn he summons them. To be honest,
Yeah,
It's
because
just-
you have to summon in more than 9 away.
he has very quickly run out of real estate here, and that the mosque is going to pinch from the back too. So it's just not going to be a lot of room, honestly. I think for those wolves to come down, and even less so in a position where they can impact the game. It's interesting. Let's see, scroll. Let's see. Let's see if we can hear ourselves. Yeah, so we can. We figured it out. We're not just talking into the void. It's good. Some skirmishing, looks like shooting phase stuff. Lots of ward saves being rolled. The smaller bubble of 5+ wards actually kind of big for the matchup too. I think it's just always like a push and pull with the models you take in the army. I think Lagavai techs the army really well into OBR, but in this matchup, you probably
Sacrifice.
yeah, exactly. I think you want Tregelius in this one.
Yeah, it's a trade-off. He was really concerned about the OBR, especially with this event.
Yeah.
There's so many OBR players. He knew he would end up having to play OBR in the Invitational. So we tweaked this list to account for that. But
Not
how often do we see Slanesh in the
did not account for Anthony Lawrence. So
Yeah.
He's been beating everybody.
The terror of Boston. The Boston Menace. I don't.
He cleaned out the Walters clan. He's beaten. I mean, we'll see how this game goes. Looks good for him so far. Slanesh, secret OP. I don't ever think it got bad. It's just there's a lot of tools to manage, and armies that are very, very toolsy. I mean, the more decision points that you have in an army, the more opportunity there is to make errors. So I think Slanesh can be intimidating to pick up and play, but if you can play it really well, it's still a really strong army.
They cheat battle tactics really well. I think they play well into a lot of the top armies too. Like they seem to play well in the OBR.
Yeah.
Definitely well in the Soul Blight.
Anti-melee, anti-armor covers a lot of what's good in the game right now. So
they don't really skew into any one thing like super heavy,
No.
or something like Seraphon, or I'm just going to dominate the hero phase and that's it. Soul Blight's just I'm gonna dominate. I don't know, the board space on this objective, and that's about it.
Yeah. There's always opportunity to create your own meta. So
Be the meta you want to see.
you just be a dirty OVR player. Come to the
dirty
dark
zombie
side.
player.
The dark side.
Imagine if every person in a tournament was running 140 zombies.
Fantastic. Even better as a viewing experience, I think. Uh-oh. I got another one.
Peak Warhammer is 140 zombies.
The management's back with more guests here. Hey, what's up, guys?
Quite a bit of shooting. I don't think much is going to be very effective this turn. It looks like we see a couple dire wolves being pulled, but Tom's going to be able to bring back quite a few of them.
Yeah. I think it's just like going for tactic, right? I think I would have tried to chew up one of the zombie units in the flanks, but the wolves make sense too if he wants access with the mosque. I think it's what he's trying to move the wolves so he can get behind into the center of the army. I think probably to prevent 10 more wolves from being put down. If I was going to try and follow his train of thought, but
He's just clearing real estate for that.
yeah, exactly. So I don't know. I'd like to know which unit he tagged to, just to confirm that it's actually the Lokabai, if he tagged one of the zombie units.
With
The artifact.
it has to be hero.
Oh, I see. So it's Lokabai for sure. Yeah.
There's no other hero. It's worth doing him on.
And he gets to choose in his hero phase as a trigger. It's actually
I
kind
think
of
it's the start of the Slanesh hero.
yeah,
phase.
it's
He
interesting.
chooses.
It's an interesting trigger.
I'm gonna pull up the artifacts when my brain starts working. I can navigate this app. Tenders. It's at the start of your first hero phase. Pick one enemy unit on the battlefield. So it is just enemy unit. I'm thinking it was a hero.
No, don't correct me.
It'll set the attack characteristic to 1 of that unit,
Yeah, it's really strong.
which I still think you just go for the Lokabai.
Yeah, I agree.
The zombies are only 2 attacks each. You can use the Vampire Lord to get them with 3. But you already
true.
have the Myrmidon Painmakers right up the middle, which reduce attacks by 1.
It's true. All good points. This looks to be a very difficult Soul Blight turn. That's what I'm starting to see here. Is developing. Slanesh is just going to get 6 points, and one of these flanks is going to be very hard to access, depending on.
I don't know if he's getting 6 points because I don't think he got an Antarian Locus on one of those center objectives.
Oh, did he not? He didn't follow up with the movement.
No.
Figured. Interesting.
Because he got the Epitome, and then he just has the Shard Speaker and the Bray Shaman, and I think one of them is in the top of the screen, the center objective, and the other was halfway between the right objective and the top objective. I don't think he had the movement to get it all the way on there, which is a shame.
Yeah, I think he just wanted the Epitome centered, I think. And I figured the Epitome would swing out and tag, but it's fair. I mean, you want it in the center of your army. I get it. So those points are just going to matter so much. Like,
Yeah.
and these Soul Blight matchups, like every point is minus will be 2 points. Like when you're fighting, because of the stability on the battle tactic structure and the grand strategy, like you really, really have to pick and choose where you make up points. So Tom is just rolling dice. He's like, yes, hand me more.
And we have Furies on the right side attacking zombies.
Ah, I
Not
see.
the most efficient of combats. But what he's trying to do, he was trying to eventually to form kind of a screen. The problem is he just doesn't have enough bodies with the Furies, and the zombies are on those really tiny bases to squeeze through.
Yeah.
So he elected to just send them in to hold up the zombies. Fury's only like a 6-up save, and any Fury that dies in combat here is going to get turned into a zombie.
Interesting.
If you can just hold them back, pin them in, potentially go up on some points here.
Yeah.
I don't know where the mask ended up.
Stone. I guess he's afraid he's going to run out of ability to screen off the objective. I just figured that he would retreat from combat, try to screen him off.
Oh, yeah, here we go. So the mask is in combat with that big zombie brick down below. So since the Furies are the closest unit to the top couple zombies, he's able to pile them in.
Yeah, he tagged the zombies, so he's just giving those zombies movement. Messy, messy combat.
So any zombies that die here, Tom will be able to bring them back at the start of his hero phase, and then potentially outnumber the Furies on that objective.
Yeah.
And if that's not enough, he can use the Virko's heroic action to add D3 zombies to that
Yep.
unit.
Yep. He could also just break them out of combat here, depending on how much damage gets done to those zombies. Like,
He could. I would have liked to see the Furies a little bit further up, so that way he couldn't just retreat on the
Yeah.
objective,
yeah,
and it would have forced him to actually
I agree.
go in combat with them.
And I really would like to. I just figured that the Furies would retreat and try to bracket them off of the objective that way, and lean just more bodies there. So even if he gets engagement on those Furies, you still have bodies on the back end to stop that objective from being used as scoring. But I mean, he's still very, very centered. Maybe I mean that's a long game decision when you're trying to sit in your army like that. So we'll see how that develops. The mid-game priority rolls are going to be so huge. The matchup.
All attack from the mask, so it would be on 2s and 3s, red with 1, 2 damage each.
It's the big damage. Let's see.
This is where he's looking to get some depravity, but not a lot. I think there's only 4 saves here.
It's 2 out
2
of
each.
yeah,
The
2
worst
6s
saves.
out of 4s, and then he makes another. It's a typical Tom Guan rolling here, ladies and gentlemen.
He tried to put him into the corpse guard and didn't do enough.
Excellent.
So this is why he's here at the top table.
Hey,
Just be good
stand on the
warrior
circles and roll really good. Good achievement.
fighter. That's all you gotta do. Easy.
Interesting. I don't think the mosque is going anywhere, which is really, like, the damage is, you'd like to see the corpse cart go away, but the decision point is to hamper movement. So the decision point is still achieved because I don't think that mosque is going to be picked up.
Possibly.
Pull up the live chat.
Currently, we're a little inept here. We can't see the live chat.
Sad.
A call has been made, but
He's checked out for the day. Worked him too hard. Is it? We pull up the chat log separately through Internet Explorer. Is that how that works? Maybe.
this is a pop out from somewhere, which I think came from here.
I'm gonna try. Let's see. This is terrible. Speaking of inept decision making. Copy key viewer activity. Stream. Not the red button. Yeah. That's invigorating content here. I don't know.
We got two-time ITC winner Gavin
Can't
trying
figure
to
it
figure
out.
out chat.
Yeah, this is bad. I cannot. I'm only good. I'm not even good at Warhammer. I just play it a lot, honestly.
You didn't even win a single game today.
I
did you?
didn't. It's awful. I'm sorry we can't talk to you guys if you're talking in the chat. I apologize. I really would like to.
Like we had two Furies. Flee.
What I do.
Which maybe we don't even have chat up. Chat's disabled for the stream, huh?
Hit return here.
No.
Sad. Dashboard.
If you're just joining us, we're round 4 of the Invitational here. And
Yeah.
we're open.
Yeah.
Just in case you missed the intro to this event.
Yeah.
This is the final round of the Invitational today. 16 top players. Not even just from the country, but we had some player from Europe, including Owen Jackson, Matthew Davis. And this is the final game. 140 Zombies piloted by Tom Guan versus Anthony Lawrence's Slanesh.
Indeed.
We saw
The tactic achieved. It looks like 6 points.
that was 4 points.
4 points.
Hold 1, hold 2.
Well,
That's maybe a little more. Who knows how these missions work, right? Well, I'll find out.
let's see. Furies didn't. The Furies held, which is surprising.
Yeah,
I figured
there's
they
3
would.
left, but that's all I needed. Powerflex. Hold 1, hold 2, so both. And then an extra point for the Locust.
I see. So you had the hold 1, hold 2, and then the.
You also score 1 point if any enemy wizard were destroyed in that battle round.
Interesting. So that's how many more? That's a few more points available for. Well, for both, honestly.
Yeah.
But I think the Spirit Gales will be important as the game progresses for those points. Is it you get so it's any in the battle round, so you have to stagger it if you want extra points after
Yeah.
the first one, right? So
And you score the victory points at the end of your turn as follows. Which means that if a wizard dies top of
you just
top
like
of turn and
sacrifice,
you're going second,
yeah.
you score points for that. But if you go first and then the wizard dies bottom of turn, you don't score points for that.
Interesting. zombie player turn. He's found a very small pocket to summon his wolves, it looks like. I figured the Furies look, I guess the Furies are just barely 9
Off
away.
the Vampire Lord down there.
Yeah. I don't know. It doesn't look like coherency to me.
We do have a table boss over there. Just keep an eye on the table.
Yeah, coherency can be, like, yeah. Sergio has arrived. He is walking around. It looks like his 10 or 11-year-old's almost as tall as him, sad. But good for the kid, I guess. He's walking away now. He didn't see me. I'll have to go say hi later, I guess. Yeah, we just got the big mess in the middle here. It's like... Zombie player can probably... I think zombie players can get back both those objectives. There's not a lot of body count on them. And there wasn't such disruption to the zombie front line that he's going to prevent them from getting on the objectives, and he can quickly overtake the body count on both objectives. I don't think that he's going to be able to get that Vampire Lord onto either one of the side objectives, so probably looking at a similar pointed turn. I don't know.
That's where the Vampire Lord is.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at.
If he's over by the 3 Furies, there's a way.
Yeah.
There's a way.
Yeah. Led into the Maelstrom is the pick. Makes sense. Make a charge with a zombie unit, make a charge, or any unit. Any battle line unit, make a charge with that, and then a hero. So one of these heroes is going to make a charge. What?
So he's got Korslav, the Necromancer, and the Vampire Lord all garrisoned in there.
Where?
In the tower by the bottom objective.
I see. Interesting.
So, I mean, there's a chance that you could pop them out of the garrison, charge in those 3 Furies, activate the zombies,
Yeah, kill him and then
first,
pile
and
in
then pile
3.
in.
Yeah, of course.
Probable?
Just worried about the placement of that hero after that happens, though, because then you're just out there with your ass in the wind,
Yeah.
to put it bluntly.
Yeah, it's definitely not worth the
Yeah.
risk right now.
Yeah, I think that's what surprised me so much for the objective activation, because the Vampire Lord just wants to hang out in your home forever, and that's just, you just get the point. But I mean,
His Vampire Lord is armed with Warfrost, so he wants to keep up with the zombies. He
yeah,
doesn't have, he's got the Spirit Gale and Lock of Eye instead, so
yeah.
That's
It
the
looks
piece
like the
that
wolves
goes
didn't fit though, which kind of big deal.
yeah, because they do have to come in
Yeah,
fully within range of that Vampire Lord. So only the Virkos vampire units can do it, which is Belladonna and the Vampire Lord. Lock of Eye can't do it because she's Avangori,
Yeah.
and Gorslav and the Necromancer are not vampires.
yeah. So we're already out of.
This is the Sport Tracker, so this is the hero phase.
I
for each
see.
move.
And it's can you do it while you're engaged or no?
No, it's like a normal move at 3 inches.
Okay. Those aren't engaged, but I just wanted. I mean, it's good to know the little small manouche. Another way he can get some movement here is if he can force through the Van Hels's activation, because he's in combat with zombies, he can get movement off of that too, which is important. And if he gets Van Hels's off, it's probably trying to clear those Furies. When he clears the Furies, then it's a big deal because it opens up.
He's either do that, or he's got Blizzard if he really wants to say.
Yeah.
You know what?
Yeah,
I'm Tom Vaughn, and I roll sixes.
This is true.
You think that's something Tom would say?
What would he say?
I don't know. What would he?
Well,
Say,
he would
I'm
just
Tom Vaughn,
laugh.
these are sixes,
He'd
or
laugh like a gremlin. He'd
chuckle
roll,
maniacally?
yeah, and then he'd roll really well, and he'd just laugh, and he'd go, hoo hoo. That's the noise. That's the noise that he would make if he rolled a 19. So, heard it many times. It's a classic.
It's also 9:15 here at night. Like,
Yeah.
how many Tinder dates do you think Tom had to forego in order to play
It's
4
a
rounds?
big
here?
sacrifice, yeah.
So, Tom throwing out some spells.
Management's back. Almost through one turn. So
Still,
So who's technically?
the Slanesh player, the one with the tan bases.
on our side.
Yeah, you see the tan bases? Like
Yeah, so zombies.
no, the other one, like that brown tan. Yeah.
The children are the future of Warhammer. There is
know.
a kids' hammer here Saturday,
Oh,
Sunday.
perfect. Yeah.
We do that every year at Nova.
Hopefully they're all nice to each other and have a good time. That's what it's about.
They tend to be. They do have some special
There's always one.
to make it a little bit more simplified. So probably ban zombies.
What's that?
I'm playing hide and seek.
It's weird. Water or something. This pile of things. Maybe he got Van Hels off. Is that what's happening? Sad. He's
We have
here.
our technical support here.
He's
Seeing
back
if
to
we
save
get
us from
chat.
ourselves, yes. Pop out chat. 3 dots.
Oh, we got chat.
Oh, now we can hear you. So, you can say mean things to us. Which is what I want anyway.
Just to Gavin.
Or just to me for not doing it right.
No, we're just, we
All right,
appreciate
we
it.
got a lot of chat to catch on. Look at
do.
this crowd. You got Mackenzie, Sean Clark, Jake.
Ramon's very active. Sean is judging, always watching. So,
AoS coach. What time is it in Australia?
I don't know. Degenerate hours. So,
This is round 4 of the Invitational, guys. Final round of today. 4 rounds on beat. But I'll be back here in less than 12 hours for round 1 of the GT.
I took the city's coalition rules. So that's a community effort. They didn't really need them anyways. Let's be honest. Like, did anyone want to see dragons in cities again? Like, I mean, we could have. We could make it happen, but world's a better place. World's a better place.
If anybody's in the DC area, there's still a chance to get tickets for round 1. Starts tomorrow, 9 a.m. Eastern.
It'll be a fun time.
Might even play this little-known player from Texas called Gavin
Awful.
Greiger.
Yeah, one of them. One of those. Any of those work. I respond to them all. Yeah.
Or Griggles.
Griggles. That's preferred. Preferred. See how the Soul Blight works around this Fury screen. Mask is a problem. Like he's gonna have to dig that out. He can't just leave it there. Like,
He's only got like 4 of these Furies on an objective.
yeah,
I think you can likely tag it with 5 zombies.
yeah. I think,
Just eyeballing it, it looks like there's enough space
yeah,
that you can retreat off onto it, which I think is kind of a mistake about how far back those Furies are. If they're going to come up this far, they need to fully commit to it.
yeah. I agree.
I believe Tom still has some zombies in the grave too that he can pop out eventually. You fish those 9-inch charges.
Yeah.
Every solo player makes 9-inch charge from the grave.
I think he wound up holding those 10 dogs too. I don't think he actually got them out with the heroic action. So there's like a lot of material available for mid to late.
Yeah.
Assuming he can get it out. If he has to break this bracket, because if he stays where he is, like the board progression is going to be bad.
Yeah.
But
Something we don't often think about, having 140 zombies pinned in their own.
yeah, exactly. So
But he was able to break the Furies on the right-hand side, using the Von Hells for the hero phase attack.
depravity
Don't get surprised 'cause
count.
his card cards are so far back, and the zombie units have to be wholly within 12 of them to get mortal wounds on 6s to wound.
I will be right back. I will request depravity be written on the score sheet on his side.
We'll get the update on the depravity total. Depravity's still going to be a bit low. The only combat he had was the mask. He only ended up doing like 2 wounds. So yeah, only at 8 depravity.
Yeah, ask and you shall receive. Yes. Management is running around playing tag now. It looks like so.
There's something for everyone here at the Nova Open. If you haven't been here before, huge convention. You can move into the Washington Hill in a much larger venue.
Yeah.
It outgrew the old one. We had 4 different things going on with AoS today. We had doubles, the Invitational, an RTT, and of course the narrative.
The most important event.
I love narrative. It's my first year not doing a narrative. The
What a
last 3
sacrifice.
narratives,
Yeah.
I'm done.
The streak is broken.
And I love that crowd. They're so much fun.
Narrative people are the best.
They put so much work into those tables and the missions over there.
Yeah. Just typically do less events with a lot more focus on the ones they go to. It's always cool to see that supported. It's good because there's probably too many competitive events and not enough narrative events. So it's always good to see options for everybody, no matter what you want to do.
Hopefully we can see some more narrative popping up around the country. I know they do a narrative at Adepticon. I think there's one at LVO.
Yeah.
There's a Warcry narrative happening at Everwinter in December.
Start to see the zombie march. Furies are gone. Zombies are shuffling forward.
Here we go. Looks like is he good? Do you think he's gonna charge in? I don't like zombies in the Myrmidish Painbringers and all of the other damage output here.
No.
So he's either gonna screen us out with a whole bunch of zombies or make a really bad decision and charge in.
Both highly likely outcomes. Let's see. One of them will happen, I promise. But if I was going to look at it through the zombie player, you really still just want to shield on 2. You want to shield and keep your home objective as your priority, and lean really hard to one side, and if possible, tag both center objectives. I think, with minimal commitment to one of them. You just really trying to control half of the board as a zombie player. I think because
Sean Clark coming up here tomorrow?
yeah, he's gonna be here judging everyone silently. There'll even be like a Minutemen get together after the 3rd round, is the word. So let's see, come have drinks with us. It'll be fun.
Everyone in the AoS community here is just so nice. I don't like such a charm. They might look like you can bury a body with them in a desert somewhere.
Those are the best kind of people, right?
But underneath, they're just sweethearts. The Walter brothers, massive, like physically imposing to look at. The kind of sweetest people.
Yeah. It's like the elephant in the jungle, you know? Like, nothing messes with it. Why would it be mean?
It's gonna be a slow game. for now.
Yeah, it's just slow, like the board progression. What you're really trying to follow in this game is the battle lines. Like, where is the front of the Slanesh army? Where is the front of the Soulblight army?
You see the redeploy coming out from the Blizzbarb Seekers on the right-hand side.
Yeah,
Trying to avoid combat with those zombies.
yeah.
They've already taken the objective
Exactly.
by sheer numbers.
Left side is probably going to be as few of these zombies committed as possible to this objective while still getting control of the objective is what I would guess.
Yeah.
He might try to charge the Furies so he can maybe pick up some zombies, but the Furies will probably cancel out zombie generation with their attacks, I think. So there's probably going to be, I think there's 5 Furies on the objective. There'll probably be 6 zombies committed to the objective, with like the rest of the unit trying to shield that flank off. Would be my guess.
I'm waiting to see where Tom elects to pop out his heroes in that garrison, because Torgilius is providing the Holy Within 9-inch bubble of the 5-up ward save.
Yeah, Gorslav, right?
Yep, Gorslav. And then he's got the Necromancer in there, who can pass off wounds to nearby zombies. And if he's going to commit to try to force these side objectives as the focal points, or in this one, he needs to have one of Xanturian Locusts close enough to actually get on the point. And right now, both of them are garrison in there. So what he really needs to do is he's committed a lot of zombies to that right side.
Yeah.
He needs to at least pop out the Necromancer, who's still going to have the benefit of Lookout Sir, so he's not going to be able to be shot from far. And if he does get shot, 4-ups to pass off the wounds to zombies is going to still keep him safe.
Yeah. And Necro, and you still need to have something centered on your home objective if those objectives become live too.
Yeah, and so it's just keeping that Vampire Lord
Yeah.
back too. You can pop that on that home center objective
Yeah.
quite easily, but you can also just keep it in the garrison. It's still getting the Lookout Sir because the zombie unit is still within 3 of the garrison.
Yeah.
And if it does get shot at, he's -1 to hit because he's garrisoned, and he's +1 to his save. And all of the shooting from Slanesh is Ren 1 damage.
Yes, I see your messages now, Jacob. I will occasionally look at the screen if I feel like it, but I will answer your questions and get depravity count for you if you ask nicely enough. No, Vamp Lords. Or maybe you think they should, but they do
Maybe
not. Sad. Necromancers, yes, indeed. Jacob Berry knows he's being heard, so he's reverted back to being Jacob Berry, favorite human being. So. Such a.
Running the corpse cart now, slow and steady.
Yeah, it's just such a. It's like watching like a freighter at sea turn. Like there's like a big giant freighter floating in the ocean and it's just slowly turning. Like that's how zombies play a lot of the time.
And we kind of have a canal right in the center of the board for the evergreen to just get
the ship's too big. It can't go in the center, so you got to drive the ship somewhere else. The zombies must make it to the economy. They cannot be stopped in the canal.
So Tom already setting up for 4-point turn here. He did choose lead into the Maelstrom, so he's gonna have to charge a hero and a battle line unit. So we're gonna see Lock of Eye come up here and charge in as well.
Yeah, it makes it more difficult because he cleared the Furies. It could have been an easy place to charge with his hero. But now it's...
He's already moved the zombies to the left, so that's plugged up, so we can't get Belladonna to be there.
Yeah. He might just be charging the mosque in the back with the hero. That might be what's happening.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
Belladonna into the mask.
Yeah. Which is the drawback to using the mouse the way Anthony did. It's a still solid option. It's just a harassment unit. But
And
it
if he rolled
opens
any
up.
better, would have done so.
It would have, if you get the corpse cart, it's for sure it's a very good decision because it just removes output. And like you're trying to attack its output. So if you get corpse carts off and you get enough depravity to go to -1 to hit, zombies are basically relegated to standing. Like they don't do anything after that. So the quicker that happens, the better it is for the Slaanesh player. We'll see how far the game progresses before that does. So
Tom's measuring Garrison from Lockavai, but I'm not sure what.
can't put a monster in the garrison.
Yeah.
Terrible. High level Warhammer. It's a beautiful thing. Another very obscure trick at the top tables. If you do not like where the terrain is, you just move it.
He's measuring, so he did pop Torgilius out. Not Torgilius, Gorslav.
Gorslav, yeah.
Popping out either Necromancer or the Vampire Lord. Tom's using the most obscure random old models.
It just makes it better, right?
I gotta take a look. I don't know what.
All right. More information to be found at the table.
So that's Torgilius on the objective next to, right to, well, not right, but left to Lockavai. And then between Lockavai and that terrain piece, that's where you put the Vampire Lord. And the Necromancer is still garrisoned in. So he is setting up the Vampire Lord for next turn to be able to kind of jump to either one. He's using that terrain piece to kind of block line of sight shooting. That's still getting lookout, sir, but it's so close that all the shooting will be able to get within 12.
Yeah.
What a friend. Mr. G.
Does you want to be on? Is it okay to go on the stream?
Emma, I brought a friend. Mr. G. This is curious. He wanted to come behind you, so I took him. Oh, you're taking that out of yours. Don't look him up.
I'm not.
Tom's still quite a bit of movement left. They're making charges now. Huge charge.
The dog was camera shy, sad. I tried to show the
9-inch
world.
charge here from the zombies into these Bliss Barb Seekers who already redeployed, so they can't unleash.
Interesting. The space the Slaanesh player is going to have a hard time getting back.
Yeah.
It's a big part of this is control of where.
Another 9-inch charge.
Yeah, it's just like a freighter. Like when it gets there, it's hard to move. Like we'll see if the Titanic goes down this game. What do you think? It's a lot of really good charge rolls here that are going to impact the progression of the scoring. So the zombie player's gotten exactly what he wanted. He wanted to cut the board in half and pile onto 2 objectives. So no matter what priority roll is established, it's probably going to be just 1 objective being scored for Slaanesh. So see, he's like pretty wide open in the center though. So I don't know, it's interesting. It's like a lot of. It's almost like he wants to get turned, I think, to backfill. Because if, like, Slaanesh goes again with the board state the way it is, I could see a world where there's a lot of Slaanesh models on Tom's home objective.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of gaps. So
There's a massive gap right up the middle.
Yeah.
Spirit Halloween's about to move into that.
So I don't know.
If Slaanesh has to go top of 2, I think those Myrmidesh are moving in, and he's going to start collapsing onto that center there. Although those zombies do have the 5 board from Torgilius nearby, but all of those zombies on the right-hand side, everything on objective, that is not wholly within 9
Yeah,
units.
it's
So,
outrun all the
not
buffs.
Torgilius,
Yeah.
Gorslav.
Yeah.
So they're only on 6 up boards over there. Slanesh is gonna chew through that.
Yeah. Might actually bleed a lot of depravity here too, to those seekers. The seekers have a surprising amount of attacks that they can put through.
Yeah, they can only do it in Anthony's turn.
Oh, I see. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Awful. Inaccurate Slanesh knowledge.
Probably not the position Anthony wants to be in, where he's got Blitzbar Seekers and with something like 60 zombies. So.
Zombie combat, the absolute best.
Yeah, might as well take a nap here. And, maybe this will be over by the time round 1 of GT starts tomorrow. So, we've got about 11 and a half hours till round 1 starts. Both our players get to sleep in because they get to skip the first round of the GT.
It's good.
But not us.
Nor would I want to. I would have denied myself round 1 with the Nova Open experience. Take a break real quick for the bathroom.
Still so early into the game, but will be a 4-point turn. For Soulblight to tie it up at 4-4 after this turn. Both players have relatively easy grand strats as well, so Tom's going to be looking to return 3 slain units to the battlefield, and Anthony's looking to just get up to 36 depravity. He's already at 8, and we haven't even seen the start of the depravity machine. Especially if that contorted epitome gets into some zombies, you're easily going to see that explode up, and he could even potentially do it in 1 turn. Not looking to really kill these Blitzbarb Seekers with the zombies, mostly just trying to loiter this objective with as many bodies as he can, knowing that the Seekers not that great in combat. These are the shooting ones, not the slick blades. The zombies are too far from the corpse cart to be benefiting from 6's doing mortal wounds, and are also way too far from Gorslav to get the 5 up ward saves. So they're just very exposed. Plain old 2 attacks, 5s to hit, 4 to wound, no rend. The winner of the Invitational, I believe there is a trophy and prize for them, and they're doing a best painted, but I can confirm with the TO real quick too. I can pull him over for 1 moment. Just 1 minute. Just 1 minute. So, there is a prize for the winner. Not sure of the award yet. But these players are mostly doing the Invitational for the experience. Like, every person in the Invitational has made it essentially to round 5 at GT at 4-0. They do 1 GTs, multiple events. So, from what we've gathered from these players, essentially every single round of this is like playing the final of an event. It's that level of play. Our round 2 stream, we had Caleb Walters at Zinch playing against Matthew Davies, known as Math Mallow from overseas, with Sylvaneth. Game that went down to round 5. Last round we had Tom Guan on stream versus Jacob Brandon, running Cruel Boys in a very tight game. There was only 3-point difference going into turn 5.
The new meta, Cruel Boys.
Cruel Boys was the toughest game that he's had so far here after playing OBR 2 games in a row.
This looks like it's going to be pretty tough, though. It's
Anthony might be the one to slay the boogeyman.
Hey, let's see. They still bottom of 1, looks like.
Oh yeah. You think we're going anywhere?
Got you for 3 minutes. This priority roll is going to be really big. Setting tempo.
It's gonna be huge.
Yeah.
What do you think? If you won priority here,
It's tough. There's like a lot of permutations. I think that like so Soul Blight is so spread out that it's almost in a position where like Tom might feel like he has to take the turn if he wins priority, which lets Anthony set objective structure, which probably means both the homes are active, and then you're looking at less points just to get your army structure back together as a Soul Blight player. He needs to get his bubble maintenance for all of his buffs needs to be better. He needs to get all of his summoning back out. He needs to get those 10 wolves out. Like, there's a lot that won't happen if the Slaanesh player gets to go. Like, and I think the Slaanesh is probably fine with either outcome, is what it feels like as far as board state. Like, there's not going to be a lot of damage done to the Slaanesh list if zombies have to go. So I think that like Slaanesh player from 100-yard view, I think Slaanesh is in a more favorable position right now. If you made me choose one,
he does have a single dire wolf tying up a lot of those Blitzbar archers.
Yeah.
There's someone from Belladama in there. He just piled in to attack it and only did 1 wound.
Excellent. So, is it within range of like an arcane bolt clear or anything? No.
Oh, absolutely. There's
Okay.
multiple wizards back there.
It is annoying though.
Because he only has to do 1 mortal wound to it.
Yeah. But you'd rather just not be there, not have to worry about it.
Yeah. That usually is a play. If it's not there, better for Slaanesh.
Much better. Yeah, much better. That's interesting. This is like there's so much that's going to happen in the next 2 or 3 turns. It's hard to see where the game's going to progress. It's like, but the structure, battle line has been established, leaning away from like the impassable terrain that Anthony set up. So I think that if you asked him, he'd rather it be flipped, like the structure of the board be flipped around. But I still think he's okay, like as far as where all the pieces are.
Anthony's army is way more mobile.
Yeah.
He's got so much speed that Tom's really the one that's like
He's driving the
these
Titanic.
zombies are committed. The ones that are all the way on that right side, they're committed there.
Yeah.
that big blob on the left, not a whole lot of ways that one can go.
Yeah, and he needs his ward coverage over there to the right. And now he's trying to knock the camera down, sad. But he needs 5+ ward coverage over on that flank, or he's just going to lose. The behind the scenes of the stream, Nova. That's okay. It's okay. But yeah, the 5+ ward coverage is a big deal for Soul Blight. Not having the second character to provide it's something he's really going to have to work around in this matchup.
Just had the priority roll, and it looks like I think Anthony won it.
And now he's thinking.
Yeah. So the power stance. Yep, Anthony's one priority.
Yeah.
But this is the big.
This
determining
is the
factor.
deep think, yeah, because it's good options for both.
Yeah.
Like Slanesh is good no matter what. Here he's just got to determine if he feels better about going second in the round. If I was Slanesh, I would get the turn.
Yeah.
I think.
Because if Tom's going second, he's probably making those side objectives the primary ones again.
Yeah.
To split up, he's in position to control those.
Yeah.
If Anthony gets the select here, absolutely makes the home objectives,
Yeah.
limits the points again to just 4-point turns.
Yeah. Because I just don't think there's a lot of damage done to the Slanesh list. He might lose Seekers. Like he might lose the rest
He
of those
was able
Seekers.
to charge in his Vampire Lord.
I see the
get
extra point. Yeah. It's big. I think there's like slight misplay on Slanesh. On the Slanesh side at the top of the round.
He really
like,
should have had an Antorian Locus on
Yeah.
one of those.
and he probably could have prevented some of this, some of these units from being established on the point. Also, I think that there's like some small holes that were used very well by Soul Blight. So, still in good shape though. Like the Soul Blight is just not going to do anything to the center of the Slanesh army. It's just nothing is ever going to be done there.
Am I good to bring a friend again?
Yeah, of course. We have management's back with another cameo appearance.
Hi. Hi, world.
Yeah. They're very excited. Yes, we got a show for everyone here.
Can I say something into the stream?
Yes, you're saying things into the stream right now.
I am.
Yes, it's an open microphone.
Hi, world.
Everyone should say hi to James's daughter. Say hi back.
This is me. I'm. Hi.
The best of the O'Brien clan.
Yeah,
Kinda.
yeah, the best.
Out of every single one of our family members, I am the best, and I got the best hair.
Mackenzie says hi back.
Sure, you can't argue with that.
I got the best hair.
Yeah,
It took me 40 minutes to get my hair curly and put beads in my hair.
yeah, undebatable.
I had the best hair. Vote for me. I do have the best hair, right?
Yeah, they're all saying hi back to you. So,
Hey.
yeah,
Hi, world.
yeah,
I have to go, do some things.
yeah. And then she's gone.
I'll probably be back.
Might be back.
Looks like Anthony's gonna take it.
Yeah, it's logical. If he can really disrupt the structure of the Soul Blight army right now, and he can also keep those 10 direwolves that are in the back pocket summoning into an even more. He can keep the pressure to summon those in a bad spot up if he smushes his army right now. I wonder what Tom picked for the active objectives. Probably the side ones, like you said.
So Anthony's battle tactic is going to be the Grand Feast. So he needs to gain 12 or more depravity points from the Fort Killer's battle trait during this turn.
Interesting.
I think the Slangors are probably in a spot where he can get up there and get into some zombies.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he does have the Epitome.
Yeah. It's probably a Slangor engagement.
We'll see which ones are active. But assuming it's the side.
Yep.
Yep, that's the sides.
Okay. Sides. I don't think Slanesh will get the side back with all of those zombies on it, but he's going to do a lot of damage to his army this turn.
Yeah, I mean, the one on the left, he should be able to easily score because there's only a handful of zombies. So you can move the Furies back.
Yeah.
You don't even have to move the Furies. You can just leave them there too, and just move like a couple more models on to just throw the objective. Outnumber, can't redeploy onto it.
Yeah.
Additionally,
Where were the?
Vampire Lord sitting there in combat, like he could kill a Vampire Lord,
Yeah.
and that's an extra point.
Yeah. I think that the center of I think that the canal. I think Tom's home objective is going to get crushed this turn. I think is what's probably going to happen if I had to guess. Like he's going to, and then he's going to be split into two separate smaller forces.
Yeah.
So
And, Torgilius is there right in the middle, so the bulk of his zombies are not enough 5-board save.
yeah. And if you, I mean, surrounding Gorslav is the same as killing him because the summon comes from him. So if you block that off, it's like, I think
The what?
the Gorslav resummon. It's a bubble off of him, right? So if you surround him, it's the same as killing him because he can't use the summon. So it's tough. He's going to run out of real estate if the Slanesh army gets right in the center there. Like there's just not going to be a lot of room to operate.
Yeah, wholly within 9 of him.
Yeah. So it's a tight bubble too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's taking a turn with the intention of cutting everything that's on the home objective off from everything. I think he's probably going to leave that block. All those bodies that are on that side objective is probably going to get left alone, if I was going to guess. But he can kill either one. It's like it really is up to how he wants to, what he wants to make the board state look like. I think he does have to be careful with how he sections off that one side objective that he controls now. So if he gets a resummon at the end of the movement phase, he doesn't lose like body control, right?
On the one on the left.
Yeah.
So he doesn't have it yet. There are 6 zombies towing it, so he's going to need more than just the 6 band of Furies. When Tom resummons, it's going to have to be 9 inches away on Anthony's turn.
Right. So if he just backfills, he'll be fine. Yeah. But he does have to take
one
something.
more model.
Yeah, he's got to take something over there. Yeah.
And the closest thing are just the Slangors, which here's to see where he's going to put them. He's moving his Bliss Barbs over to be able to project fire onto the right, which he's got his Bliss Barb Seekers over there too, which will be able to spread out -1 saves. And then we'll just have a huge volume of Ren 1, potentially Ren 2 shots going into things that just
Where is
won't
he
have
going to get
saves.
this depravity from? Is what I'm kind of thinking. Probably the zombies at the bottom left with the Slangor, if I had to guess. Or maybe he goes
That's the
straight
question.
up the middle. Yeah. He's got options. Like
He's got options, and he's got 2 platforms because he's got the Contorted Epitome, which he's already moving over to the right-hand side, and he's got the Slangors. Both of those are great platforms to be able to then just farm a feast,
yeah.
a grand feast, one would say. And because Gorslav is just too dedicated in the middle, and Tom is just not watching his 5-up-board bubbles.
Yeah.
And this is a talk I had with him after the last game too, where he just that bubble is so small
Yeah.
that it just can't cover enough of his army.
Yeah.
That the trade-off of not having Torgilius in the list is that
It's very different. Very
his
different.
army is so fragile.
Yeah. And then the Lock of Eye, the advantages are neutralized a lot just by the natural mechanics of Slanesh. So we'll see what that model gets done as as the battle line becomes a little bit more fractured. There's a little bit more room for Lock of Eye to operate, but it's still very hard to find a place for her to get anything done. It's not punny enough. Awful.
Our puns are a bit dead.
What is dead may never die. So, you know.
So, looks like he's gonna move the Slangors to the left-hand side. It's a unit of 6 Slangors. Don't know if they have any buffs, if he's got Flaming Weapon off on the Epitome, or if he's got Frost off.
Yeah.
But that's why we can check out the team boss over there.
It shows me he wants engagement on those zombies at the bottom left. We'll see if Tom reads that. I don't know if he has a hero over there to issue commands to that unit of zombies. But
that was huge.
yes.
So you got the huge Arcane Bolt off to obviously free all of those archers at the top. Fortunately, was not able to get Flaming Weapon or Frost up.
I see.
So
So much less output.
a ton less output, especially Frost not being on those Slangors.
Yeah.
And the Flaming Weapon, huge, not having that on the Epitome. That's going to be
Yeah. Changing the hit value to 2+ have been very, very nice.
because he does need to do at least 12 wounds with one of these units in combat. Still achievable, but when you've got one of those buffs on him, it's more
Yeah.
likely it's just gonna happen.
It's just a dunk versus not a dunk. Is there a character
No.
that's bracketing those zombies, or that was one thing that I was thinking about? Issue commands.
So there's the Vampire Lord that's like right in there with those Blitzbarb Seekers. That slightly larger base on the top left of that right objective is a Vampire Lord. He also has Lock of Eye. But underneath that terrain piece, who's a War Master, so he's able to issue commands 18 inches. But the Epitome is moving over there, and there's a couple overlapping units of zombies on the right-hand side. If you're within 3 inches of the Epitome, you can't issue or receive.
Yeah. It's big. Also do a lot with the no retreat on the Epitome this turn, too.
Yeah.
Anthony's might be being a little greedy here. He's trying to deal with everything all at once. I don't think he needs to split himself up this much.
Yeah,
But
he looks like he's just trying to engage this on all 3 fronts.
yeah.
Slangors on the left, the Painbringers and the Gargant in the center, and then all of the shooting and the Epitome on the right.
Yeah.
Who knows? He might be able to scoop a ton of this.
Maybe. Yeah.
The corpse cards are so far out of position
Yeah.
that he doesn't have to worry about the mortal wounds on the attacks, just the splashbacks. Epitome doesn't have to worry about the splashbacks because of a 2-up against mortal wounds. All of these archers, completely fine. They're not going to get hit by any damage. So he's able to he could charge in all of this stuff, and then he doesn't have to worry about the sequencing of attacks because
It's pillow-fisted.
most of it's nullified, and especially that unit in the middle, that big brick of zombies that have the 5-up ward.
Yeah.
Because they're going to be within
Well, it's
range of-
instantaneous, right? As soon as you get the depravity, it activates the buff. There's no
Oh,
lag.
yeah.
So if he
So it'll be a-
if he activates the killers and brings himself to the -1 to hit, then he really cuts into the zombie damage.
Oh, absolutely.
So
And then
it's a sequencing.
That brick in the middle is going to be hit by the -1 attacks from the Murderous Painbringers. And if he makes a long enough charge, you can even tag the unit on the left of the Painbringers and just string them out.
Yeah.
There is a corpse cart on the bottom of that center objective, but it's wholly within 12-inch bubble. Not sure if he's got any units that are wholly within 12 of this. And the other corpse cart, I don't think he got the right memo. It looks like he's all the way down on the bottom right.
Go look at the
About
horse
to
state
lose your
real
mail
quick.
out there. Just
Be right back.
first batch of zombies getting peeled off the objective. Tom taking them from the side close to him because he wants to prevent Anthony being able to charge on the objective and have bodies on there.
What will the
Anthony's got 3 rounds of shooting from the Blitzbarb archers. He's got 3 units of 11 Blitzbarb archers. So each unit will have 31 shots.
What? What are those? Locations?
Actually,
What are these?
21 shots actually
What
out
are
of
these
each
things?
unit. So there's gonna be 3 volleys of these Blitzbarb archers shooting the zombies.
Smile.
Blitzbarb archer is very effective against zombies. This is exactly what Anthony wanted to have. Just high volumes of Ren 1 damage, especially going to zombies that are not going to have any save because they're only 6-up base save, and they're only on a 6-up ward save. And then zombies don't get the splashback any mortal wounds. They're just going to be easy pickups. Now, the thing that's in favor for Anthony or for Tom here is that he does have just an abundance of bodies.
Am I spot it? Or you? I didn't mean to take it. So the mosque actually died earlier from Belladama in combat. Yeah. Did not realize that. Big deal. And
Big.
kind of surprising, honestly.
Yeah. Tom's had some pretty good rolls. I'm gonna say he's been making 9-inch charges.
Yeah.
He's been making 6-up saves on his corpse cart earlier.
Yeah. These zombies are evaporating on this flank.
Absolutely.
Though.
And then we're about to see a whole bunch of charges here. It's about the Slangors potentially going into this big zombie block down below. The Twin Souls and the Chaos Guardian in the middle potentially charging in. And then the Epitome doesn't make it in. There's a lot of zombies that can pick it up on the right. Here's to see what happens to that Vampire Lord. Does he put any attacks melee into it?
Just been shooting zombies.
Yeah, it looks like he's prioritizing the zombie shooting instead of the Vampire Lord. Looking to just focus on capturing that objective, which
Looks like
still a lot of bodies on there.
Charge roll.
Might have been more successful just going for the extra 1 victory point, like killing the Vampire Lord.
Charging. Epitome's in. He's got to do the Furies first to get them out of the way. Right. So we'll see where the Furies go.
Looks like he's just charging the Slangors.
Yeah. It's weird. Because he's going to have to link through the Fury unit because of how far back the last ones are. I figured he would get them out of the way before he did that. But it's still doable, I think.
I think he's got room to challenge through there.
Yeah, it's just I think that like it would be a cleaner charge if the Furies weren't there, I think. But it's doable.
Looks like there is a gap between the building and the zombies. And
I
he's able to
see.
squeak
It's
through.
perspective issue, yes. Interesting.
Slangors, I don't even know this unit's war scroll.
It's like more attacks than you'd think. 4 or 5 attacks each, 2 damage. Some hoof attacks. Not terrible. Not terrible.
Yep, 4 attacks each. 4s and 3s. Ren 1, 2 damage. So Ren 1's just going to chew through the zombies.
Yeah, it's
2 damage each.
25 attacks because you have one if champion with extra attack, right?
Yep.
It's 25 attacks, 4s, 3s, 2 damage. So you get 50 damage potential, but probably all out attacks and fights twice. Maybe.
Fight twice is...
It's going to be a lot. There's no hiccups in the charge phase here. You got engagement everywhere you needed it. Yeah, there's just going to be a lot left for zombies, I think. But there's a lot of recursion, and the issue with this path is that the zombie might link 2 turns together and get a lot of units back. But we'll see.
And the zombies also might just evaporate these Slangors as they die, doing mortal wound splashbacks.
And that's with both the combination of where the Slangors are now, killing zombies and then those zombies splashing back is going to make it really hard for that second activation to get.
We do have the...
Make that really hard for that second activation to get any kind of leverage, because there's going to be a lot of space created between both those units dying.
The Twin Souls did charge in the dire wolves on that bottom objective and tag that zombie unit within 3, so that way that zombie unit on the left hand side is -1 attack.
I see.
And he does have the chaos target in the middle too.
Yeah, be -1 to attack and then -1 to hit too. He's at 20 depravity, so the zombies aren't going to be doing any damage to combat. It's just from dying. When these units are cleared, though, the back end of these objectives are pretty clean if Tom gets one of his units back in his own turn.
Oh yeah, there's so much space for him to just return a unit.
Yeah. So, despite how much damage he takes here, he might get a full point turn. It just depends. Depends on if his Vamp Lord lives. Depends on his recursion rolls. He's going to have 10 more wolves to work with, and he's going to have at least 1 unit from the Gorslav regeneration, I think. Assuming Gorslav isn't buried somewhere that he can't summon.
Looks like he swung first with the epitome on the right side.
Yeah. I'd like to see how close the bodies are on that. See if that's something that, if Anthony can actually get that objective or not.
I don't think he's got it. He only has the epitome and then 3.
Yeah, they're 5 wounds each, right?
They're 4, so he only has 1 each. So he's only got 5 bodies there.
Brutal. Yeah.
And there's already Vampire Lord, so he's already timed on the epitome there. And there's still 20 zombies or so.
It's quite brutal.
Yeah. That's why I think he might have been better suited if he just put his shots into the Vampire Lord and took the extra point.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. Just a big piece for the game, too.
Because the Vampire Lord can get out +1 attacks to zombies, and it also has Hoarfrost, so you can eventually get those zombies hitting on 2s. And if he runs that corpse card up from the bottom, that's really what he's looking for, is just being able to hit on 2s and fish for more wound rolls to get the 6s to wound doing a mortal wound.
That's fair, yeah. The Hoarfrost is really big in this matchup to get the zombies to do anything. Because once they're on -1 to hit, conventionally they're just not going to be able to hit anything. But Hoarfrost has bypassed those mechanics, so helps. And once the epitome's gone, Lockabye can really, really impact the game.
Yeah.
Can probably impact the game now. She's in a position where she could probably fly over
She could
the
fly over
center
and kill the Gargant too.
Yeah, or the Gargant, or really get into those Bliss Barbs, because they're all stacked on top of each other. So that could be an issue. I don't think Tom has gotten a Spirit Gale off yet, too. If he gets a big cast on a Spirit Gale, it's going to be very... It's going to cause a lot of problems for Anthony. And if he links 2 turns together and gets a lot of this to happen twice, it's going to be... There's still a lot of play available on both sides. Very chaotic. Like, just there's a lot of different engagements going on, which typically favors a Soul Blight playstyle. Like, the more chaotic the game gets, the better it is for zombies, because they start to fit in places that you're not persistently looking for.
And they've got their recursion. They're looking for the attrition game.
Yeah.
Tom can bring back these bodies and units. Anthony, not so much.
Yeah. Well, it's the points are what's really, really important. So he's already he's a point behind from the first turn. If he doesn't get a full rotation of scoring here, he has the potential to go down more. And then it's just those points start to stack up. And even if you're beating Soul Blight on board state, like, they've accumulated such a lead that it's impossible to make it up on the back end sometimes if you wait too long. So
I think it's going to be a 3-point turn.
yeah. Let's see if the Vampire Lord is there.
He does have an Antorian Locus on the subjective on the left.
I see.
So 4-point turn eventually. Whatever happens here, I think Tom will be able to respond with his own 5-point turn.
Vampire's taking 2.
Yeah, that's not dying.
No, I don't think so.
And then he'll be able to heal up with the hunger too.
Yeah.
Twin Souls picking up those wolves in the center. But not in any real threat. Just having 4 Twin Souls there. I think Anthony might be just a bit overextended here.
Yeah, that's what I think too. Because Lockupy is going to fly over the center of his army, and there's just a lot of available targets. And Vampire Lord living is going to be a big deal. It's just like he's going to do damage to Tom's front line of his army. Like, the structure's been broken pretty considerably, but he's not going to get a lot of points this turn, which is what I'm worried about. Like,
Yeah.
he's not going to get a lot of points, and Tom might get max points depending on how his recursion comes back. And then if Tom links another turn together, it's going to be bad, I think, because Lockupy is going to probably pick up all those archers if she gets 2 turns to do it. This depends. It's chaotic.
Tom putting as many zombie attacks into the epitome as he can, knowing that it's only got a 5-up save and 7 wounds.
Yep. Yep. Vampire Lord's dangerously close to, and can also do significant damage.
Yeah, Vampire already picked up another Blitzbarb Seeker here.
Yeah. It's always surprising how much damage the Soul Blight characters do. You think of them as support pieces, but even Gorslav has a very similar profile to the Vamp Lord. Like,
And they get the chain activate and Fear Coast.
yeah,
Fear activates, another unit only than 12 gets activated afterwards.
yeah. How this turn's playing out, kind of you start to see like Soul Blight's win conditions appear a little more. I think,
Just score points, right?
yeah, it's just a little too aggressive with some of the.
That was a lot of failed saves on the Epitome. I think like almost died right there. Because the
Yeah.
Vampire Lord handing out +1 attack to zombies, puts them on 3 each.
Should be hitting on 6s. I don't know. He might have all out attacked. We can't all out attack. He's within 3, right?
Right.
I don't know. Roll the side of the dice with the most pips. Pick something up.
You
Seeker?
might have Hoarfrost off on him for extra hit.
Yeah, it's true.
Vampire Lord.
It's true.
This game's going much different than I thought it would go.
Yeah. It's been a little different at every major decision point, and it's caused the game to shift a little bit every time one of those decisions is made too. I still see outs for both, but it feels like after the turn progression here that the zombies are in a little bit better spot.
Yeah.
We'll see how the zombie turn goes, but like,
Zombies go next.
right, that's what's scary. It's like zombies go next, and they could go again.
This turn keeps looking better and better for zombies, and it's Slanesh's turn right now.
Yeah, I think there should have been. He engaged on 3 fronts. I think he should have engaged on 2. I think he probably should have swung away and condensed, and just chewed up 2 of the flanks. And he probably, maybe he's probably thinking he just needs to do as much damage as possible. That's why he engaged on 3 flanks. But it's a lot. It's a lot to try and do in one turn.
He had more focused damage. Maybe.
It's like the zombies are so slow. If you swing away from one of the flanks, zombies aren't catching you. So that's really how you want to deal with them if you're going to try and kill them. You isolate parts of the army and
He's
deal
going
with.
to force a lot of battle shock, though.
It's true. Yeah.
He's got the 1 unit on the right. He already swung with the Epitome and killed. Over doesn't he?
Yeah.
The Slangors are going to swing into the left-hand side. He's got the Chaos Gargant that's going to swing into that middle pack.
Yeah.
They're
It's
not
like,
going to have a save against the Gargant.
Yeah.
Just ward saves.
is he set up to let one of them run with Gorslav? Like, and then if he rolls the 3+, he's getting another unit back in his turn. And he's getting the 10 wolves out of his back pocket. He hasn't summoned those yet because he couldn't turn 1.
Yeah. Belladama's so far back now that he can just pop them right there.
And Noah and his son. He's teaching him well.
Always important to stretch at these events.
Yeah.
Hydrate with water.
Hydrate and stretch. We need a Noah cam, honestly. Like to just follow him around and see the adventures of Noah sing and what he decides to do the day of, every day's a new day.
Yeah,
And Noah always finds something fun and interesting to do. So.
I'd imagine it's not too far off from strapping a GoPro to a dog
Yeah.
and letting it go in a city.
Similar. The dog knows English, allegedly. So, it's a little bit more interesting. But let's see. These combats. Just so much to do. Fury's in there somewhere, I think.
Yeah, they're all the way on the left-hand side. They tagged the zombies there. It's like the Slangors already swung in. Couple of them died. I think he lost 3 Zangor. Or no, maybe there might be another one in there. I think he lost 2 at least.
They do it. The splashback's a lot.
They're only 3 wounds each.
Yeah, it's a lot. And they're also not super tanky. Like,
He might have needed to save them until he had the 36 gravity for the 5 board save to just make them a little bit more durable.
yeah. I mean, it's a big move to take top of the turn and engage on all 3 fronts. That's Anthony deciding he wants to try and win the game now.
Yeah.
And it
which
might
is
have been a
huge.
turn too fast, but we'll see how it plays out.
Anthony loves playing his castle, just sitting in there and saying, "Nope, I'm gonna wait," and then just pulling the trigger when he can just finish the game.
Yeah.
And he must have seen something that he liked.
He just saw how, I mean, I know what he saw. He saw the Soul Blight front line was so spread.
Oh, yeah,
and
everything was-
he's trying to take advantage of that. It would have been better if this had happened at the bottom of a turn and he could have linked another turn.
Yeah.
It's a lot to try and do in one turn.
Especially to do it on the top of a turn here.
Yeah.
You potentially have a double turn for Soul Blight to just recover off of this.
Yeah.
And he's only killing things that haven't died yet, so
Yeah.
it's all coming back.
Yeah.
And he's already given up half the unit of Slang Wars. The Epitome's already half dead from this.
And it's just the archers are really, really exposed right now to a Lock of Eye charge. That's the problem I see with the
She
board
has
state.
taken some wounds though already, so there's a chance that Lock of Eye could just
Yeah.
eat it with an Unleash.
Yeah.
So he's probably gonna, if he wants to do it,
Probably
we'll probably see the finest hour.
I don't know how much damage she's taken. I know you can do swing the heroic recovery.
So,
Hunger
I
is
don't
going to
know
be helpful. I don't know.
how Tom allocates his wounds, but there is a 5 and a 3 indicating an 8 next to Lock of Eye, so I don't know if she's taken 8 or is 8 left.
I think I'll ask, actually, instead of guessing.
So Lock of Eye has a base save with 3 up. I think if he finest hours Lock of Eye, then that's probably a good signal that she's going to be charging into those Blitzbark archers at the top. Yeah, so Lock of Eyes only has 3 wounds left, so I'd expect them not to swing into, just go charging into those Blitzfire archers.
Yeah,
Anthony's liking to retreat his Furies.
makes sense.
I'm surprised he's keeping them so tight there.
What did Lock of Eye take so much damage from? Shooting? I suppose it had to be shooting, right? Yeah. Maybe early, turn 1. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think there wasn't really much to shoot at turn 1, so.
Might have been Lock of Eye. Surprising that he's leaving Lock of Eye on low health like that. I figured he would have at least heroic recovered this turn. So it's other options. You swing around and try to heal up off of what's left of the Slangor. If she gets the spell off to let her pile in 6, targeting a unit of Blitzbarb, she can just bypass the Unleash Hell. That would be really big. Just options, always options.
The second activation coming from the Slangors, just using a 3-inch pylon to just skirt over, make sure that Tom can't just retreat onto the objective. Maximizing these has 2-inch range on the Slangors to minimize the splashbacks coming from the zombies, keep as few of them within range as possible.
There are 4, so there's 4 Slangor in there left.
Yep. Which I still think probably another one dies here, just from the splashbacks.
A lot of wounds. 8, 10. 10 out of 17 possible dice. Good roll. Yes, Tom.
If this is his Euphoric Killer's target,
I think he got it. Yeah.
he's going to be swimming in depravity.
So many 6s. Look at this.
Oh, what a heathen.
7 out of 20, I think.
This is why Tom Vaughn is so good at Warhammer with all of those 6s.
He's pulling from the back. Interesting. Let's see what his move here. He's not pulling in yet. I don't think they piled in and attacked. I don't know what the bodies are. They're looking like that. So what he might try to do is pull himself away from the tag on the other flank and then pile in towards the objective if he can take the objective back. And this is
So he's
I think
just pulled them off the front there.
Yeah.
Try to splash mortal wounds on. Anthony is on a 5 upwards, so he is over 36 gravity now.
yeah. He's got his tactic. Tactic has 1. And does the locust just have to contest, or does it have to contest when you control?
When he controls and there's no other locust on there.
There's something at the back end of that objective tagging. It might be a shard speaker or something.
Yeah, I think it's it's either shard speaker or the Great British Shaman.
I see. Yeah. So that would give him 1, 2, 4 points. Right.
So he scores an additional point for objective he controls that is contested by an Antorian Locust and has no enemy Antorian Locust contesting it.
We'll give him a 4-point turn. Second 4-point turn.
It's going to be a 4-point.
It's interesting.
So we'll have the one objective on the left, control by an Antorian Locust, and 2 points of the battle tactic. 4 points. Bring him to 8. Tom's already on 5, going next. And I think Tom's definitely going to get a 4-point turn from just the left side because he's got the Vampire Lord, he's got all the bodies there. But he might have a play if he's able to bring back zombies to potentially get that left-hand objective.
Yeah.
Still 4 Slangors is great for Anthony. I was concerned that he's going to lose way too many on the initial mortal wound bounce, but now he's got all of the buffs up. So
See what he might be where he goes with Lock of Eye. Might go into what's the remnants of that unit. I still would like if he can get this.
into the Paveminders here. I don't think he goes there.
No, I think Lock of Eye. She should try to fly over and go into the Slangor
No.
or the Fiend Bloods maybe. But if you can get the 6-inch, there's a spell on our War Scroll that you mark a unit, you can pile in 6 of that unit. I think if you get that spell, you fly over the center and you mark one of the shooting units. You fly over and you go that route. It's just a lot. It's a lot that can happen. Let's see. They are not playing with a clock. Sad.
Strange, we have 3 games on stream and none of them chose to use the clock.
Not tomorrow. It should be mandatory.
World's players in all 3 rounds.
They're afraid of the clock. Clock does not tell any lies, which is very scary for some players. Sad.
There you go. Tom's going to go with the Callous Overlords. So he's basically going to sacrifice one of his summonable units.
Yeah.
Score 2 points.
I think there's one that's really, really low that he's going to leave in combat somewhere.
He's got the 1 Dire Wolf on the center objective on the bottom there. You can just see that tag there. Hear that, or just 5 zombies here on the left. There's so many options. Depends what he's able to bring back this turn, where he brings them back.
Anthony's already in range to score his grand strategy now. Now he has to start making value assessments on if he wants to summon or not and go below his grand strategy if he needs to do that. He wants to not if he can help it. But he might get in a position where he's like at 60 depravity and needs to make a hard decision, okay, I have to summon something. So
I think Tom's key right here is to just finish off that contorted enemy.
yeah.
It's such a huge pickup because it prevents him from being able to attack all three of those Blitzbarb archer units.
Yeah. That's huge. If he can get Lakabai into the archers safely without losing her, that would be big. If he can deal with the Slangors, that would be big. There's a few things. Double casted Spirit Gale going through would be really nice, I think.
I mean, he doesn't even need to pressure the left objective at all.
Yeah.
He's going to score 4 from the right-hand side, and if he kills the Epitome, he's going to score an extra point, which would put him up 10 to 8.
Yeah. And it's really just trying to make the gap, just keep picking up points.
He's making a point of it.
Hot. We got a pun in the building.
We still have about 30 more to meet our quota.
Awful. Always more. Always more.
So no unit of 10 rolls being summoned this turn with the heroic action. Moving into spellcast.
Interesting. I wonder if there was a sequencing problem earlier where he called the summon, and since he couldn't place it, it just dies. I wonder if that is how that ruling went. No? Or he just still might not have space. I don't know. Or might not like where he can go with it.
He might have just forgotten that he didn't summon him turn 1. Like,
Yeah.
it's very rare that you just don't bring in the 10 wolves turn 1.
He needs to bring wolves in but if he doesn't want to, I suppose. Too many models, doesn't want any more. What?
Would you like a snack, my co-commentator friends?
Wow. What is anything?
I got cheese crackers. We got Nutrigain
Get
bars.
some cheese crackers.
Cinnamon toast crunch treats.
That one's too good to take.
Really? I got a ton of them.
I want some peanut butter crackers. Get this away from the mic. A viewing experience nightmare. All right.
I didn't know the captain of Team America gets a bedtime.
I think he got the double casted Spirit Gale off. 'Cause Anthony's rolling a lot of 2
Yeah.
dice. Yeah, that's At least he's,
Some gone things.
at least he's got the ward up, which is nice.
It's huge.
Yeah, because he would just be losing 6 archers, which is a big deal.
He also puts his Great Bray Shaman on a clock as well.
Yeah. I don't know if did he lose any archers?
He lost like 1 or 2.
Yeah. Good rotation of rolls on those.
The Gargan's just going to take 2 wounds right there.
Yeah. Very, very nuanced matchup. It's like a lot of intricate moving parts like that. Once again, showing our propensity to just move the terrain if we don't like where it is. That's excellent.
These train pieces have shifted so much.
Yeah,
Start of the
they
game.
were perpendicular, I think, and now they are not.
It's like a river,
Yeah,
it just keeps bending,
It
creating
has
ox
to.
bends.
It's Tom bends reality wherever he walks, and that's just a reflection of that on the board state. It cannot be contained. We see the abomination of his phone case. Gonna have to dock him points for that. That's awful.
Should just be disqualified
Get that
for
thing
it.
off my screen, please.
How late do you think Tom will be up tonight watching anime?
Will Tom go to sleep? That is a real question.
That's a real question. He doesn't have to be here till afternoon tomorrow.
I think he wants to play. I
Oh,
don't
he wants to
think,
play around with
yeah, I don't think he's going to take the bye.
an animal. I don't. He loves playing zombies so much. Much different zombie style than what I play. This is
It's a different list,
both
right?
interesting and also painful at times to watch.
Yeah. Like, should I consider these things? I hadn't thought of them, and then most of the time it's just no.
There's little regard for the life of his zombies. Just
Yeah.
send him in. Oh, just of course I'll bring him back. So here's the Mon Hells piling in the zombies on the center objective. Getting some extra swings in.
Yeah. Did a damage.
Yeah, the Chaos Gargant not benefiting from the -1 to hit, the 5 at ward saves.
I don't think he rolled wards. I think that he just had to go through every unit on there.
Yeah, no, he didn't roll any ward saves for them. So he did lose the Fury on the left objective.
Yeah.
He did take wounds on the Shaman that's on the left objective, as well as the Chaos Gargant on the center.
Callus. So what is available on the back end of this? They both have done. They've elected to do tactics that are a little harder to score to save the non-combatives. So they both still have Surround. They both still have Intimidate. They both still have Magic Dom if they get to a point where they need to use that. But still, they've done really good on battle tactic management, both of them, I think, as long as Tom gets this tactic.
Yeah, it looks like he's keeping Lockavai back for now. He wants to try to deal with these Twin Souls, the Gargant in the center.
Yeah, it's conservative. Wonder if he even tried to cast a spell. That's the other part of that question.
I just realized how few zombies there are on the table right now.
Yeah. It's going to get at least one unit at half strength.
Oh, yeah. It's
And it
must
hits.
be a whole lot more.
Yeah.
Slanesh also able to some things like Keepers of Secrets. See, Anthony did bring one on the top left of your screen off the table. He's got his own converted up Keeper of Secrets.
The thought process. He might have wanted to heal on Lockavai instead of the 10 Wolves. 'Cause he can't do both, right?
No, Lockavai's still in 8 wounds taken.
I don't know.
But
Just doesn't like wolves.
five zombies moving on. The objective on the left. I think he's going to try to sacrifice them for his battle tactic. Anthony trying to redeploy away from them to make the charge harder. Doesn't matter, Tom's going to roll like 10 or 11 on it anyway.
Interesting. So he's going to give control away. He's not going to go for both objectives this turn. He's just going to try to
he doesn't have
maintain.
to. He's
Yeah,
gonna,
that's true.
He's already ahead by 1 point from turn 1.
Just trying to condense and deal with the pieces that are overextended a little bit. Yeah.
He's already going to score 4 points, or no, actually 3 points, because he's going to have the right-hand side objective and his battle tactic, but he doesn't get the extra point because there still is the epitome there, unless he kills the epitome, at which point he's scoring 5 points.
I
The
see.
1 for the extra point with the Antorian Locust, and then the 1 point for killing a wizard.
That's a good point. Yeah.
And he did bring back quite a few zombies over there. He brings back 4, 3 from Endless Legions, plus another 1 because of the grave site. And he might have just used his heroic action to just add D3 zombies to that unit.
Yeah.
Because he does get +1 attack over there from the Vampire Lord. Put those zombies on 3 attacks each. Potentially giving them Hoar Frost. running that corpse card up to get them wholly within 12, so the 6 is to wound to a mortal wound. So we Gorslav the unit back on the bottom right. Gorslav is at that large terrain piece on the right hand side, just that single body sticking out from the bottom of it. And now from his grave sites, rolling the 3 up, getting another 20 zombies back this way.
If there's space to snake in bodies on that side, so that's an option. You're basically giving those zombies away in theory, but if you can snake enough zombies on that side objective to take control of it.
Why he's measuring 9 inches though from this?
Maybe for the Gorslav regeneration.
Well, the Gorslav has to come out wholly within 9 in Gorslav. So that's already been done on that side, I think.
I see.
And then from Endless Legions,
Yeah,
since it's Tom's turn, he gets to bring it back.
No, our
3 inches away.
little fella's all tuckered out. Doesn't need the rule. He's proving a point to GW that even when you don't play the rule correctly, it's still strong enough.
Yeah, so... Unfortunately, that means that this zombie unit is going to be probably almost 6 inches further back than you'd like them to be, which is a whole turn of movement for zombies.
Yeah.
Tom charging that 5-man unit of zombies in to say, kill me. Give me 2 points. Imagine if Anthony is so good at Warhammer here that he only rolls 1 on the attacks. And says,
It's not a guaranteed kill, to be honest. I think it's only 13 attacks. So, 13 attacks hitting on 4s can be really swinging.
Yeah, and then there's only 5, so if a single one lives, it might not even fail Battle Shock.
Yeah.
Super easy battle attack to do with a larger number, because you're able to string them out, and then with coherency, pull more than half the unit and just auto fail Battle Shock.
Yeah.
And as typical, we have no idea what Tom is rolling for.
Yeah. It's too many things. Yes. Risky tactic.
Which, if he doesn't get the tactic, that's what Anthony needs to bring this game close.
The Wolves staying off the board too is perplexing. I don't. Maybe they were on the board at the start. Something I could check.
Well, he summons them from heroic action,
Yeah.
and we didn't see it turn on.
Yeah, I saw him trying to place the Wolves,
Yeah.
but then they wound up not being placed, and I'm not sure what the progression's been since then.
Definitely is interesting. I think he could have just done Grasping Dead off of that zombie unit in the middle with the 5 board safe from Gorslav, because he's tied in. There's a Gargant there and the Twin Souls. You're not going to kill him with just the zombies. Just shoot your battle attack that way, and then focus on cleaning up the right side and just swarming new zombies all over the place. Don't charge in Lock of Eye with 3 wounds left and keep her alive. Looks like he's gone in, done the stomp, done the roar, and he's trying to activate with Lock of Eye first in order to heal her. But she has -1 attack from the Twin Souls. Kills the Gargant. So,
What is in combat with it? Is that Lock of Eye?
Yeah.
Yeah. I see. That's a 6 wound heal.
Huge. Like, he couldn't even done that battle tactic this turn.
I wonder what the Timber did. If they rolled it. Because the Timber could be annoying for Tom. It's a lot of units packed.
Now the Epitome being able to pile in away,
Yeah.
swing onto zombies. So, which is huge, because I would have preferred to swing with that zombie unit, be able to potentially pick up the Epitome here. So charging in Lockabye meant that he had to go with Lockabye first before Lockabye died.
I don't know if he got Torfrost off. That might be the deciding factor there. It's tough to know.
Yeah, even without it, you'd still, with an all-attack, be on 5 to hit, 3 attacks each. And with 12 or so zombies, even more, maybe almost 20 zombies being able to swing into there.
It's close. 12 is 24 to 8 to 4. Basically make 4 saves on
Wait a few being
average.
picked up here. So the Vampire Lord's going to swing first into the Blissbarb Seeker. Kill the Blissbarb Seeker most likely. And then chain activate the zombies into the Epitome. And I'm not going to get any mortal wounds from the cart, but it doesn't matter because 2 up against mortal wounds. I'm rolling 4 6s here. On 6s to hit. Oh, there we go. Zombies now chain activating into the Epitome. This right here, I think, is the big thing. If it kills the Epitome, it's 2 points, and it also is a huge impact to Anthony's list. So much of his list is built around that platform of issuing commands, multiple units.
Looks like a lot of... Jesus, was it that many hits?
Maybe he did get Horfrost off then.
Yeah, that's a lot of saves to make. It's a lot of saves.
Yeah, 5 upwards here, and the Epitome's gone.
Big deal.
So we are looking at the 5-point turn for Soulblight.
Tom is proclaiming he has never killed an Epitome. And he's crossed that one off the bucket list.
Zombies, the bane of the Epitome's existence.
You can even say he'll take it to his grave, you know.
Are we going to see another zombie win here? Just somebody stop this man.
Not only piled away, he also died. 2-point difference, for sure. It's good. It's a big deal. Let's see if he gets his tactic here. I don't think Anthony's went with the Slangor yet. But it's the other part of this that could go poorly.
Yeah. And any 6s to hit that the Slangor do a mortal wound in addition as well. So it's
That's
more
true.
damage output.
Yeah. Are wards a forced trigger, or can he choose to not take them?
You can choose not to take word saves.
That's good.
I've done it plenty of times.
I want my Callous
put more
Overlord.
Not just for Callous, but to
Yeah.
splash more mortal wounds on
Yeah,
the thing.
fair
so you
enough.
kill it.
Yeah. It's funny.
And looks like he's got Belladonna too into the Twin Souls on the bottom center.
Yeah,
Yeah, here we go, picking up the 5 zombies, 2 points. That's the last of 40 man units, so now there's a 20 man that you can eventually bring back.
Yeah,
the table.
that's the issue. I think that if Tom gets a turn here, Slanesh is in a bad spot. I think that it's kind of on the back foot here, where like Slanesh feels like they have to take the prio. I think, and even if they take, interesting. Even if they take the priority, like he's not in a good position to score. So I'd say, I mean, Soul Blight probably back in the driver's seat a little bit. It's tough. It's just a hard army to get off the board.
I wonder if that other unit was this the unit here that was brought back by Gorslav, or that unit already always there?
So messy. I think it's that the one that's around Gorslav is probably what he brought back with the CP.
So then that unit shouldn't be there down there at the bottom,
No, I think that is what he brought back.
because he brought back this up here then to take. There's so many zombies everywhere. I'm not even sure exactly what was brought back this turn.
I think the one in the back was Gorslav, and then the one he wouldn't bring back 3 units, right?
Because you only bring back 2.
And he had to roll the one at the top of the map back because it's within 3, so or outside of 3. I think that was a sequencing, and then there's just so many zombies that it's hard to actually track what is alive and what's dead.
So here comes huge priority here.
It's low for someone. 2. Yeah, Tom just
Tom
took
just
prio.
won it
Yeah.
and quickly said, "I'll take it."
Yeah, that's the other side of the double-edged sword is taking a priority at top of turn and not finishing the game opens you up to a double. So
I think this is potentially just game right there, because
it's tough.
all there's left really for Slanesh up at the top are just a whole bunch of archers, and they're surrounded by zombies that are about to converge on them.
Yeah,
And then Knock of Eye can jump up there too. She's pretty full healed.
I think they're talking about a talk out. I think it's
They
probably
might be. Sneak a peek over there.
I think they're talking it out. Roll good. The zombie menace remains. So zombies win the Nova Invitational. We'll probably be back around to talk a little bit more, but it's going to be sporadic coverage from here. So feel free to hang out, but if you leave, we love you. Hopefully we see you again tomorrow.
So players talking it out. Might be calling the game shortly here. Slanesh overextended quite a bit. Didn't accomplish quite enough and lost way too much. Losing the epitome. Now absolutely surrounded in zombies. Using a 10 up at the top. There's a blob in the middle. Gorslav is down there as well. There's a Vampire Lord on the right with more zombies. Lock of Eye is pretty healthy. We'll be able to crash into the middle. So, Tom looking to just try to put a nail in the coffin and pick up as many Blissbarb archers as he can this turn. He's going for... get the full name of this battle tactic in one moment for you. Endless Nightmare. So if he returns 6 or more slain models are returned to that unit during this turn. He does have a couple wounded units. He's finally using his summon 10 wolves battle attack or heroic action. So once per battle, summons 10 dire wolves to the table. Off the Vampire Lord right now. Here comes the Endless Swarm, shambling forward. There are 3 units of Blitzbarb archers sitting on that top center objective, surrounded by 3 units of zombies, and then potentially Lock of Eye coming and crashing in there. And Tom's plan is essentially going to be ignore that left objective for now. He's already up in points. And again, both the left and right objectives are activated. So in Power Flux, player going second picks which 2 objectives are activated. It's either that north-south one or the east-west one. And every single turn, our players have chosen to do the 2 across the center and not the north-south ones from their home territories. So, hopefully y'all were enjoying the commentary. They're still playing it out. Anthony wants to see what happens this turn, what Tom's able to accomplish. But it might get wrapped up after this. Really depends on how much that Tom's able to accomplish here. If he's able to take enough of those archers out. Anthony is on quite a lot of depravity. He's already over his 36 for his Grand Strat, and any more is just going to go into summoning a Keeper of Secrets. So he still has quite a lot of damage output in all of those archers and the Slangors that are still on the table. But is it enough to deal with all of these zombies? He's killed off like over 100 zombies, but they just keep coming back. And if you're enjoying this, we've got an 8-round GT starting tomorrow. I say that like it's a long time away, but in about 10 hours, we start round 1 of the 8-round GT here at Nova Open. We're on our 4th game of today of the Invitational. First round, we did stream with doubles this morning, but the round 2 and round 3 are on this channel. You can catch the videos. We had 2 amazing games that came down to turn 5 priorities. They were so close. But we'll have 3 games tomorrow of the GT, another 3 games Saturday, and then we'll wrap it up on Sunday with the top of the top, the cream of the crop, for round 7 and 8. Who's going to win the GT? Who knows? Last year, we had a Caleb versus Scooter Walter Brother finale, and both of them are here running the same armies they ran last year. Yep, here we go. Zombies all creeping up. Lock of Eye coming in for the party. We're just going to see all of these zombies just pour in, completely surround these Blitzbarb archers. At that point, he doesn't even need to necessarily kill the Blitzbarb archers. He's just going to tie them all up, and they're just going to be stuck there. And then he's just going to leave Anthony on that unit of 3 Slangors, a unit of Furies, all the way on the left-hand side. and just not going to be enough. Still slowly moving the shambling hordes. So many bodies to move. He's got the 3 up. And now he's returning. He's returning as the single dire wolf that died early in the game when Belladama turned somebody into a wolf with the Lycan Curse. So there is a new unit that's added to his army, and Endless Legion says that you can return a slain summonable unit from your army, and you round up. So all those new direwolf units that Belladama is able to create, you can actually resummon them with Endless Legion. So while all of the other events have wrapped up in this gaming hall, it's 11 p.m. here. There's still quite a lot of competitive AoS players just loitering around, interacting. People who never met before, saying hi first time. Old friends reuniting that haven't seen each other in months. So if you're around in the DC area, come check out Nova Open. Round 1 starts tomorrow, and you can buy a ticket. You can show up before round 1 starts at 9 a.m. tomorrow and get into the event. Because the only thing better than watching the stream is potentially playing on the stream. Anthony using Unleash Hell, removing half the zombies that just charged in. Now Tom charging in with Lock of Eye and the remaining zombies. Lock of Eye is just going to start picking up these Bliss Barbs. Though they are -1 to be hit and do a 5 up ward save. You never know, these Bliss Barb archers might be able to swing back and do quite some damage because their 6s to hit in melee are now doing a mortal wound in addition. But also, every archer that dies from a zombie is potentially getting turned into a zombie on a 2-up. So, Tom electing to swing the Vampire Lord first so we can chain activate. One moment, looks like we might have some difficulty with the stream. Let's see if I can get picture back for you. The screen just went blue and then it went to black.
It looks like the GoPro is
Out of power?
out. It's probably down.
I'm gonna see if we can get visual back for you in a moment. And we're back to the most exciting thing ever of 140 zombies just loitering. Yeah. And, we'll be back here in less than 10 hours for round 1.
What time? Round 1 is at 8 o'clock.
9. So we start every day, 9 a.m. Eastern Time, Freedom Time, in the capital of the United States.
You're smarter than half the people in this state. You sound like a college kid. Have you seen those interviews with the college kids with like third grade questions? They're like, I have no idea.
It's gonna be quite a lot of zombies swinging, -1 to hit all around. So Tom fishing for 6s, but that's what Tom does. So already making that 8 hits, I believe, or 8 wounds. So every archer that dies here in melee, Tom will be able to roll a die, I don't know, 2 up, add a zombie in the unit. He eats their brains. Zombies so powerful that they cut our feed earlier. But I have a feeling we're going to be wrapping up this game soon. We'll see what Anthony thinks. But I think he might have pulled the trigger 1 turn too early and overcommitted way too hard. And you see what happens now. When Soul Blades are able to double you back, recover half the zombies he lost. We're just going to see way too many Ghost Barb Archers getting pulled here. I just don't think he's going to have the damage left to deal with the amount of zombies that are still on the table. The turn 1 placement from Slaanesh is let him extend a little bit. He did bring the Furies out pretty wide. He was trying to prevent Tom from getting on the objectives, but at a certain point, I don't think he then committed to that with the 1 unit because he had him in a position where Tom was still able to retreat onto the objective. And if you're gonna put the Furies out that wide, you just want to make sure that he can't retreat onto it. So Tom was able to pick up the hold more on his turn 1 because he was able to retreat on there with 6 zombies. So I think that was a bit of an error. And here we see even more Blitzbarb archers getting lifted. We do still have quite a huge crowd here waiting for the finale of this. Most of our invitational players are still lingering around. Even some of our non-invitational players hanging about, chatting, catching up. Legendary Basil showed up tonight. A couple of our West Coast players have arrived. Tom Long is still sticking around. And some familiar faces, Joe Cryer. Noah's still here. Noah played in the Invitational. Lost by 1 point round 1 to Alex's OBR. It's 3 OBR players in the 16-player Invitational, and all 3 OBR players were defeated before round 3. So Tom Guan here in back-to-back round 1 and round 2 beat OBR. In pretty convincing fashion, just outnumbering on objectives. Taking advantage of the fact that OBR is so low on its model count that it just can't be everywhere at once. And now here we are, the turning of the archers into zombies. So everyone he's killed in combat on a 2-up gets to add a zombie to that unit. And it can bring it above its starting size as well. So if you're degenerate and into these 140 zombie hordes, you can need more than 140 zombies. So you're going to want about an extra 10 to 20 with you just in case. Sometimes it's super fun. I did turn Kragnos into a zombie once. Fortunately, just a regular zombie, nothing special. Now, here we are, Tom, tallying up his points. I'm getting the full 6-point turn there. I guess it was the home objectives then that were turned on. For hold 1, hold 2 of them, have an Antorian Locust, kill an Antorian Locust, and get your battle tactic. And there's the handshake. Anthony's calling it. The rating's on the wall. There's nothing to deal with the zombie. Tom Guan is going to Olive Garden. And just like that, we're going to wrap it up. Tom Guan is your winner of the Invitational for 2023. 2023 Nova Open Invitational champ, Tom Guan, and the Zombie Horde. Ugh. Will somebody just stop this menace already? Stop it. But we're going to call it. And we'll be back here in less than 10 hours for round 1 of our GT tomorrow. So, we'll probably catch a Tom interview at some point this weekend, but we'll let him party hard, and I'm sure he's got Olive Garden on the mind. So, have a good night, everyone. Take care.